Alrighty. They can hear me, right? Yep, they can hear me. Alrighty. So on the left side here we have Team Brexit, and the right side is Team Guan Direction. By the way, best name ever. We're opening up with a Chronos man. Let's see.
First, man.
Chronos. I don't like
Interesting. I
Chronos. Is
haven't
scary.
seen these two teams actually play.
I haven't
but
really either. I
yeah.
got
I was so
Chronos,
excited to
then
watch who was our coach versus the
same.
Rubber Duckies because I've seen their progress in the first week, so I wanted to see how they improved this week.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
Looking over these bands, we've got Kronos, Alquang, Bologna, Erlang Shen, Merlin, and Alaran. Nothing psychotic there. Pretty relatively straightforward and common bands, I'd say. Maybe Erlang Shen has not been getting banned as frequently, but this could definitely be a target ban.
yeah, for sure. Picks and Bans just flew through this time. Back
Oh,
in the day, they just stalled a little bit.
I actually
Huh?
have seen a Brexit game, and Marsh played
Oh, you
Erlang
have?
Shen very, very well. So maybe that is what we're looking at with this ban.
Oh, for sure.
Next up, we've got first picks of Nike. Yeah, these guys are really, really fast at these picks and bans.
Yeah, they're just running through them. So I
they're-
love the picks coming out from Brexit, the Nike, the Medusa, and the Isis. All top picks in my opinion, especially Nike with the rebuff and the rework. Actually, on her too, you can push off people and it takes blocks. It's amazing. And
Scary.
Isis is overall annoying, but a more traditional style of drafting for to the red side. So
But
I don't know.
Mario and Hachiman are still nothing to be scoffed at. They haven't gotten buffed recently, but they also haven't been necessarily down on the ladder. They're still good, solid picks. Let's
Yeah,
see.
I've
Second round
heard
of
that.
bans. We've got
I've heard
Agni.
that you were the one who gave Guan Direction the name. Is that true?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. They were between a couple name choices, and I said Guan Direction was the call. So it's the call, man.
But honestly, I'm upset right now. You know why? Because I don't see a Guan.
Let's
So
see.
they
I
better
mean,
pick
we
Guan
could still hold
Jungle.
out. We could still hold out. Guan Jungle, guys. Guan Jungle. I'm calling it right now. Second phase of banning, we get Agni, then Athena, Naja, and Ganesh. Looks Agni sucks to fight into. He does a lot
What?
of damage, and he's really hard to fuck it up. The
Yeah,
global
true.
pressure from Athena could also be pretty threatening to Team Brexit. They have that Jormungandr and potentially the Athena, and if they had... Wait, I'm saying that backwards. I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Nah, it's fine. Jormungandr R2, I love this combo of solo lane
Mhm.
and solo lane and support. I don't know if they're gonna pull off the SPL strat over here in the SLL, but if so, their solo lane phase, now the proclaimed dual lane, will have a very strong impact with Artio and Jorm in it if they decide to go in that direction of having the support over the solo lane. Other than
So,
that, like looking at the hunter matchup in general, feel like it's going to be a really competitive matchup in general,
mhm.
and see like which hunter can do the best rotations and help off their team do
Yeah.
things overall.
So far in these EU matchups, we actually haven't seen the support starting over on the solo side. We see it in the NA, and it's maybe 50-50 in the NA matches. Maybe one team does it, the other doesn't. But in EU, I don't think we've seen it at all so far. So I'd be interested to see if they decide to take that strat now that one
Ooh,
week
picking
later.
Bakasura against an Isis is a big boy play because knowing Isis, like in general now, if she hits the silence, now she gets a shield because Hyras thought that was fair. So like, and the ult on top, Bakasura might just look to usually erase the carries from the team, but with Isis, it's a hard cookie to crack. So you never know if Bakasura will succeed or not. It's a 50-50, but still,
Yeah,
Bakasura
I,
is a heavy carry.
I would agree. Bakasur is going to have a hard time nailing down the Isis, who would usually be his pick of choice because Medusa's got that dash, the ult. Medusa can play relatively safely and get away from a Bakasura. Isis, because she lacks a movement ability, doesn't necessarily have that. But shields, man, Bakasur is going to be pretty hard pressed to kill her. And with a Zhonghui pickup, that's even more tankiness that Baka's not really looking to fight into.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not really sure where the Zonkwe will end up because with the
That's
picks looking
also a good
like
point.
Yeah, Nike is also suited for the jungle role, I would say, with the recent buff she got in her one. It actually hits really
Much better clear.
hard. How to say it? It slaps. So Zhonghui also belongs in the solo lane along with Nike. They could be interchanged. So let's see how these Britex boys decide to play it out. And
And
Daji, of course, ending up in
okay,
jungle.
so then a Nike support here, Jonkui support, double jungle.
And
Who
Zhonghui
knows?
all rolls. Hashtag Zhonghui all rolls. So
Yes.
there you go.
This is a very interesting draft from Team Brexit, that's for sure. And then we pick up this Morgan here. Morgan's gonna be really nice for Team Guan Direction because while their team they can double Hachiman ult, they can double Bakasura ult, which is always fun, but they can run a Daji ult of their own, and Isis, Medusa, Zhonghui, those are all very potent ults that they can take advantage of from the other team as well.
Yeah, looking into the Morgan here, they have the Morgan from the Team Red that has like a lot of potential to use, Brexit teams in terms of ultimates. But as far as looking at their own team, only Jorm is the Woody candidate that I see.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I think is like where Jorm and RT is causing havoc on the British team, they will be able to the Morgan, do the slippery slide with the Boombas mask and slide in and take out one of the carries. You never know what type of playstyle this Morgan goes for.
That's for
So let's
sure.
see.
Even without the ult, Morgan can do some pretty potent damage. We'll see.
So this is a guessing game for you guys. Where do you think the support is going for
Who's the
Britex?
support on the blue team, guys? Who do you
We
think?
don't know. It
I
votes in
don't,
the
I'm so
chat.
confused. I don't actually know which player is which, so uh I don't know, guys.
So we will come back to you when we're ready with the game. So stay tuned.
Hello everybody, and we are here with Brexit versus Guan Direction game 1. And it's looking like a Nike support, y'all.
Yeah. Did you
Apparently that's
enjoy
something
our
that's really
quiz,
good.
guys?
I haven't played Smite in a week, so Nike support.
But I dig Nike support. It's pretty lit if you think about it,
And
right?
we have a 30-second
It's just
pause.
started. They took 1 hour to load into the game. Yeah, we're waiting, and they paused
And
the game.
well,
We're getting
let's
trolled.
let's
Anyway,
talk about those early game builds. What do we
hell
got?
yeah,
We
let's
have
go.
Medusa's going for that trans start. I like that. I think Medusa slaps, and I think trans on Medusa slaps even harder. Kind of what trans does.
I
I'm
agree.
interested to see Jormungandr just going with the chalice and not a chalice and pots like Zhang did here. He's got a little bit extra mobility, but because he's only got essentially 3 pots there, he's not going to have the same level of regen as Zhonghui will.
For sure, and plus, Jonkwe has the inherent inbuilt healing that he gets from the card
Mm-hmm.
and the two. Along with it, Jorm, I think he should have a few extra health pots in general, but other than that, like, he's alright, but against the Zonkwe, 100%, you need much more sustain than whatever he has going on for himself over at
Because
solo
Zhonghui's
lane.
well, but maybe his idea here is, Zhonghui's gonna out sustain me either way, so I'm just gonna, I'm gonna rush my build. Maybe? I don't know.
I
That
don't
sounds
think
like a
so.
thing.
Either
I
way,
don't
it's
think
the
so either.
loss because you need to stay long enough in lane to get that required amount of gold to get his full item, right? So if he
Hmm.
gets pushed out way too early, he'll have to use his teleport, and early using that way too early is like he's vulnerable to ganks, and that's not a good sign for early usage of.
For sure. It looks like Ardio was the one who DC'd, and we're unpausing right about now. They hadn't actually gotten there yet, but one thing I'm interested to see is the relics that the supports pick up. Nike's going for the shell, not upgraded. She got a chalice instead.
Mhm.
And Ardio picks up that war chalice right off the bat. Let's see her. That's interesting. That's kind of aggressive. War chalice is definitely worth the money, but it's pretty expensive in early game. I'm not sure that it necessarily
Yeah, I
pays off
agree.
that
I
investment.
really agree. Like early game, like if you really want to get vision on the enemy, to see their rotations early in case they are looking for early gank, you should, as a team, if you have experience against the other team, you should look to like ward their most traveled spots. Most famously, you see people go together and ward one spot.
Mhm.
And picking up this war shell is this early is a waste of money in my opinion.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
as long as it works for him, You know,
Like we were thinking, we see that the supports are both starting in the duo side. They're not rotating over to solo early. This has been what I've seen so far with EU matches, so I'm not really surprised by this.
yeah, for sure. I'm thinking of this dual lane going in the favor of the Britex. I don't know. What's your verdict? Which dual
Um,
lane is the strongest in your
yeah,
opinion?
I definitely think Team Brexit has a lot of potential. Nike assists and clear a lot. I'd say more so than Artio does. And the
Hmm.
poke from her one is huge. I mean, look at the damage she got off onto the Artio as opposed to Artio's damage onto her.
Yeah, for sure. The poke trade is seemingly winning in both. It's a 50-50 trade if
I'd
you
say,
ask
yeah.
me.
But that's
Yeah,
Medusa's taking quite a few hits, that's for sure.
yeah.
But it's
Medusa is like pulling a me. Like, I like to take all damage in the way, so that's something. But now they're looking. Britex team is looking for an invade, which is really ambitious of them. It's a risk early to invade this early, like early into the game, basically because the Bakasura and also the Morrigan also can make a counter rotation. And good thing they realize the mid and jungle calling them off. It would have been a very risky play. Now you can see the Bakasura making their way into the jungle, into the dual lane, and they look for
Bakasur with the
Blink
blink
comes
in.
in.
Here he goes. Let's see if Nike can use that new up change 2 to keep him off of her Medusa. Looks like she does a pretty successful job,
I
but
think
will
Mikey would
return
hit them,
all
and a
here.
blink comes in from
Oh,
Dashi. Dashi 2, I think. Yeah, Bakasura, barely survives,
oh,
and
Hachiman
Nike won.
falls.
Nike 1 secures the Hachiman kill, first blood to the support, freeze for
Looks
Vertex.
like Hachiman might have been taking a few too many of those minion hits. I didn't see necessarily too much damage coming onto him. I mean, obviously after Dashi blinked in, she was backing on him, but that's
Yeah, I
wow.
think they're doing an
Oh,
immediate mistake
this
here.
is
I think they
really
overstayed their welcome and they might mess up here and give the
yeah.
first blood right back to Guan Direction's jungler, Rooster.
Yeah, with that kind of health on the Medusa, she was out of her pots. That's way too risky. You really can't be sticking around that long.
Yeah, that first blood gold
Bakasura
is
had
really
Bakasura
like
has his eat minion, so he can restore his health, but Medusa can't do the same. So it was Baka could reasonably stick around, but Medusa could not.
yeah, for sure. And she's not an ADC that has sustain like Cupid or other ADCs that do have inherent like sustain like Freya or Soul. So she shouldn't have stayed around, especially wasting her pots in the laning phase. That was not really a smart choice, giving away their lead in the dual lane. But at the long run, right, I don't like this Bakasura getting the kill. Because Nike early, okay, she's gonna do a
Oh,
lot of
we've
damage.
got some
And
action in the
speaking
mid
of,
lane side. It looks like Dashi went up into her ult, and oh, Morrigan turned into Dashi. Alt the heck
and
out of that person who died. Out of the Daji who died.
yeah,
I know what I'm talking about, y'all.
yeah,
Isis salts on the ground and does big damage onto that Morrigan. Morrigan it doesn't get charged up
barely
enough for
escapes.
Morrigan to die though. Uh,
Oh, a
big
Joan
rotation onto Isis
rotation.
here though with the Yorm and the
Oh,
Bakasura. Let's see if Isis can escape. Look at that shield she's got there. That definitely came in handy. She was also able to juke the Jormungandr ult.
and speaking of, Baka is looking for this invade, and it looks like it's in favor of Bakasura with the Eat minion, but although he secured it from nothing else, I think he might got greedy a little bit and go down for his invades that he was trying to pull it off. But unfortunately, even though they got it, that didn't really pan out for them. Good attempt
That's
though.
for sure.
Um, right now it's just the Jorm. I don't expect them to make such an early solo rotation. This just means that Guan Direction are all listening to each other and are in good comms, and which is a good sign for later on. It gives you an idea how a team is like communicating, working, and listening to each other. And so far in SLL, I think this is the main takeaway that teams should take in learning on how team comms work and how teams work in general. So One Direction is getting an A in my book so far.
I agree. I think that was an excellent early utilization of the Jormungandr ult. I see a lot of people that hang on to the ult so they can escape or so that they can secure a kill, but it's really powerful for rotations, and I think using it that way is definitely very critical to being a successful Jormungandr.
Oh, for sure. And the skirmish in mid laners are going at each other. And let's see which mid laner decides to win. But the jungler from the Guan Direction team is making a rotation.
Ooh,
Ooh,
Isis just
F
didn't
in the
have those
chat
juke
for this
shoes on.
ISIS. That's all I gotta say to that.
She knew where the Morgan was. It just was not expecting that two to come through for
Situation.
her.
Speaking of, there's a heavy fight going in the dual lane. Britex is pushing off Guan Direction's dual lane into their tier 1 tower, forcing them to back off, which is a good sign usually in fights. But there's nothing much going on, but Daichi ulted in the middle lane. Did you see that? That was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what she... I think that was an accidental ult that happens to the best of us, right?
Possibly.
You have ulted... Yeah. I've ulted randomly. I have Aegis randomly too. There's no shame in it, right? As long as
the
the
fat
world is
finger
not
is
watching.
real. I have definitely played support with Aegis a few times. Sorry y'all.
Oh, you're getting reported.
It's a mistake.
You're getting reported in my
really
book.
bad.
Exactly, it's worse, you know? It's horrible. You can't do that. Alright. Moving on to the game. Pretty slow game. Like, the rotations from both teams have been like almost even. Morgan is trying to make another play on this Isis, and Isis barely gets up. But this time,
Daji is
the
right
Britex
around the
jungler
corner.
is on to the Morgan compared to the other way around. And the Bakasura ults into this Isis with no ult, and she goes down here. Will also
Let's see if
the
Daji can get
Daji
away.
hit the ground. I think.
Oh,
Ooh,
the pro blink. That was the skin of Daji's tail. That was for sure.
exactly. That was too
Wow.
close. Nice blink, right on the spot.
Wow.
And right here, Nike is caught out, but you know the support really never really gets collapsed on sometimes that easily. So she gets away scot free.
Yeah.
That was a very like interactive engagement. The one before we saw it was the Guan Direction team making an attempted like fight in the middle lane. Now this time it was Britex. It's going back and forth. I don't know where this is going. Both teams seem like they're on their equal footing. They
Well, we've
understand
got
the
a big
position. Speaking
rotation over
of
onto
this,
Medusa on the left side, though. Let's see if Medusa can ult. She misses the ult onto both Artio and Hachiman, and looks like
and
she's
she
going to be
just
okay, but she did burn her ult for basically nothing.
she slithers her way out. She got the stun on the Atio enough to get it. And Morgan wraps around the back in the middle lane and gets a stun into the Isis. I don't think she'll go for the kill. Speaking of on the other side, Dashi takes the life of Roosteroo from Guan Direction.
So much
I didn't even
action.
see that happen.
Daji's up on her pillar. Looks like she's going to grab this Artio and suck her right back in. But it didn't look like her team was entirely ready for that and wasn't able to follow up with too much damage.
Palau connects, but not that stun. Unfortunate, they couldn't get that kill. But all in all, that was in favor of the blue team, right? They got the kill.
I would agree.
Yeah. Fights are happening all over the place. Mostly 1v1, so we gotta look at the map, guys. We might miss some things, but you guys might catch some things that we miss. It's
So
action
much
all over the
action.
place. So much action. Speaking of, I'm surprised that this Jorm is handling well against this, Zong that already, like, if you recall starting the game, he didn't really have pots, right? He had like 3 sustain bots. He played it safe, he just played his
Bakasura is
way.
linking in on this Jormungandr. Let's see what Bakasura with the big ult and Jormungandr there. I can't
And the
talk.
Jormungandr and the Bakasura claims the life of Zonghui, and Daji makes her rotation, but gets interrupted by the Jorm ult, and maybe she will continue to pursue this. It's the lost cause.
Without
late
the Daji
rotation.
ult up, there's not too much she can do there.
Yeah, for sure. At least they got the Totem of Ku, right? That's
Yeah.
really nice. It's a
little
buff.
bit of move speed.
Yeah, a little bit of MP5. I'm a mid laner, so I love that mana sustain that I get. Gives me a little more stay in the middle lane, along with the movement speed that kind of makes up for the speed, the amount of speed they took out from the speed buff. It's they nerf junglers, and I'm kind of mad, but it's alright. It's how it is.
Alright.
Speaking of items, right? In general, do you think the EU teams have adjusted well, like the NA teams, onto the Arturian team? Do you think
So
they were into
the
it?
one EU match I saw was not played on the new patch. It was actually played 2 days before the new patch, so I haven't seen them have any interactions with those new items yet. So we'll see how those items usually start coming coming online around the 4th or 5th slot. So let's
Ooh,
see when they
Medusa
come in.
claims a solo kill onto the Hachiman with her ult, and Hachiman couldn't ult away fast enough. And I'm stuck with status. I don't know
Okay.
about you.
Let's take a hot break real quick then, and we will come right back once we've fixed our stasis move. And we're back with the action over here. Sorry about that. Stasis mode is a pain in the ass, but we can keep an eye on this Medusa solo kill over here that we missed earlier. Medusa with a big ult onto the Hachiman, and he just goes down. That wasn't actually as exciting as I thought it was. Hachiman died with his ult up. I think he should have ulted away. He instead opted for the dash. The Medusa ult has quite a bit of range on it, and he was just too close.
Yeah, for sure. He was too close with the Medusa's wiper shots. They do additional damage, and early on, you don't really have much health, so you can't afford to get hit by all 3 shots and the ult, because that's a death sentence. Speaking of, there's a fight starting on into the solo lane. It seems like not really. The jungler is just doing their normal code move 2 and applying pressure on that side of the map. Meanwhile, Britex ADC is getting that tier 1 dual lane.
SweetCold, it's Brexit.
Brexit!
Not Britex.
Oh.
You're good. You're good. It's okay. It's okay. English is not your first language. It's fine.
Wait, hold up. Who said that? Studied in English medium, okay? That kind of offends me, okay? I'm triggered.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Moving on.
We're partying in the mid lane, a little bit of poke. There's a lot of people here, but doesn't look like anybody wants to really engage. We're just kind of clearing lane and waiting for someone to push out a bit. And it's a
Nothing
party.
much. Yeah, the game is going pretty slow, but I like that Vertex have their like Nike and Isis in the squad, right? They're the top pick right now, and there's a reason for it, right? Nike, with her changes, she became much more prominent in defending or playing offensively if it's required of her to do so, in blocking attacks with her too, the rework, along with some changes to Isis, right? Which gives her a shield if she hits the silence, and her
looks like there's a gank over onto Medusa on the duo side. Bakasura jumps in and blows his ult onto her. Medusa uses her Aegis to defend a little bit. Hachiman uses his ult, but it doesn't connect. And as Medusa's Aegis in, she tries to go for the ult, but Bakasura just jumps in on her and takes her life. Woo!
Perfectly timed gank by the Bakasura, realizing, and Dashi goes up in the air there, trying to get into the Morgan beads or herself. Doesn't connect to either, and wasted her ult with that.
One thing with that fight onto the Medusa though, they Team Guan Direction used 2 ults for the Medusa, and Medusa's ult didn't go off before she died, so she still has it available to her. Hashiman doesn't have his ult either, but remember from that solo kill earlier, Medusa was able to run Hachiman down pretty easily with her ult to secure that kill. So let's see if we might see something like that a second time around.
Yeah,
we got a bit of a scuffle onto the Nike in the mid lane. Nike just jumps right on out though.
For sure, and the support always gets out alive, at least this stage in the game. She got the sovereignty.
Especially with the sped up jump that is always sped up now. She's just out.
Yeah.
Gone.
She's just a speedy McGee on the jump. She's just jumping on everybody. And there's a grouping up in the middle lane with the red team. How do you think this game is gonna go? Who do you favor in this so far? Which team do you think?
I really like the Nike and Isis combo.
I'll have to cut you off here right now in the solo lane. There might be some gank coming into this Zhonghui, and Zhonghui has to expend the ult to keep them away. And I'm hit with status mode. Please, Matt, carry on.
Okay, I'm gonna talk through the stasis mode. I'm really digging the Isis Strong. Oh, we've got Dashi jumping onto this Zhonghui. Yeah, Jormungandr. It's a Jormungandr. Here Jormungandr goes into his ult and is gonna actually stick around to fight a little bit even with the low health. Oh, he's just using a couple and leaving, and we've got a Zhonghui ult out onto this Bakasura, and Artio is just trying to see if she can escape with her life at this point. And she also falls. That's a big fight over on the solo side, and everybody dies!
Everybody
Jormungandr's
dies.
still here, and he's gonna see if he can try to defend, but Nike and Zhonghui are still looking to fight him. Let's see if Jormungandr can stick around. Looks like he's pretty safe here, though. The tank and the Zhonghui, who is also built rather tankily, just not chipping into that Jormungandr's defenses very much. Let's go to a pause real quick so that we can get synced back up and cure SweetCold's stasis mode problems. We will be back in just a moment. Okay, we're back, guys. Sorry, y'all. Stasis mode is the actual worst. We're still watching this Jormungandr poke at these two tankers. Zhonghui drops his ult, though, and it's still not doing much to the Jormungandr, but Bakasura is coming around the corner here to potentially gank onto this Zhonghui and do quite a load of damage. Dashi is also here. Dashi with the big jump into the Bakasura, and Bakasura falls. Morgan rotates around. We've got
And the whole team
Isis
looks to
also.
rotate.
And we're backing up a little, and ooh, there's a solo kill over on the left-hand side. Daji ult going down, but she does not connect with anybody. And we back away.
Yeah,
We're good.
That explanation for the Morgan there. And with that said, the hunter for Britain's team picks up another solo kill on Alex.
I had a feeling
Alex
that was
better.
something that was gonna come out. Like I was saying, without the Hachiman ult, he's gonna be hard pressed. But it looks like he actually might have used his ult, maybe just a little bit prior. But I'm going to assume, I did not see it, that the Medusa killed Hachiman in much the same fashion as she did before. Now we've got Brexit onto this Gold Fury. Ardio's doing her best to defend it. And she does manage to pull them off and secure a kill onto the Medusa. Jormungandr comes in with its ult, and looks like now Team Guan Direction is just going to turn on the Gold Fury themselves, and they take it. Dashi blinks in here, and she's looking for the pull. She gets the Bakasura, but Bakasura jumps on out. He eats the Oracle to survive, and Daji falls. Going in there was a bit of risky business. I think she was probably going to try to attempt to steal or save the Gold Fury, but she was too little too late. She tried to do her best to get anything out of that, but that was definitely some bad timing there.
Yeah, honestly, I just think she just forgot her team just left, or sometimes there's a miscommunication where you don't really tell your teammate and you're in the zone of attacking. At that very moment, if someone doesn't tell you to back off, you're so focused on what you were set to do that end up taking your life, and that's what happens in Marsh here. And back to you, status.
Okay, we've got more stasis mode. We're gonna take a quick break again, and maybe it'll be a slightly longer break, and stasis will unstasis. We'll be back. Alright, y'all, we are back. Stasis mode is rude, but we get to watch this Daji blink in and
get murdered.
Blink out real quick, like.
Yeah. At least her blink is actually on cooldown, right? If you think about it.
Right.
And
yeah.
herself as well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that, folks. I don't
gone.
know. The status mode is really killing the vibrate now, so I hope it doesn't interrupt much
Smite
of this.
Spectator isn't broken, guys. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. Good. It's the best part of this game. So well coded. Such quality. Much good. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Now everybody's kind of resetting, grabbing some farm around the lane. Team Guan Direction took that Gold Fury and went right the way back to base to go and pick up some items. I'm still not seeing any of them on either team actually building into the new Gem of Fate tree. Generally, those are picked up around this point in the game, and I'm not seeing it. One in particular, I'm looking for the Pridwin on Nike, which is particularly potent on her. Double shields, man. Lots of shields. Especially on Nike support, she's gonna have a big Pridwin shield too.
Yeah, I think the USLL just might not are not just comfortable in getting those items from the looks of it, at least.
They don't like change.
Whoa,
They're
whoa!
not doing
You,
the
you guys,
they're not doing
you
the new
guys,
support start. They're not building the new items. Come on, guys.
yeah, you guys are slacking. Like EU, like usually it's
Nike's
the
jumping in here
opposite.
on the Morgan in mid lane, and we also have the Dashi coming in. Dashi goes up onto her Powwow. She grabs both Morgan and
And
Bakasura,
plus,
but Morgan beats out. Bakasura jumps right on out as well, and nothing.
that's a good
We used
Paulo that
we used
hit.
a Powwow.
Yeah, we used the
We got
Paulo
the
that
Morgan beats.
suspended the Bakasur beats as well as, and also the Morgan. Yeah, so it's a
Hmm.
good window of opportunity to Vertex to abuse these two hyper carries that has been carrying the game for Guan Direction in a way. The Morgan has been prominent, 3-0 scoreline, like doing her part, sneaking in and getting those kills in. So like shutting them down, they seem like a problem now. So shutting this Morgan down would really help Vertex get over to another objective or look to a tower or do a play around the map, relieving some
Agreed.
pressure. That Gold Fury call though was the reason of all this game like equalizing. Before that, right, the blue team was kind of ahead. I think. Not really sure,
Yes. Team
but
Brexit was ahead, and they were the ones who pulled that Gold Fury, and I think it was relatively the right choice. However, in some there goes Medusa down on the left side. She falls to it looks like Boxer blinked in there and used his ult, and Hachiman also used his ult to confirm that kill. And then in the mid lane, uh,
Morgan dies,
Morgan falls
and
to Isis,
because
and we're looking at possibly confirming a kill onto this RDO, but she's just too tanky, and Jormungandr's making a rotation.
yeah, a very good force rotation onto the dual lane, taking out the Medusa because the Medusa for Vertex has been a very prominent part in soloing this ADC, getting that tier 1, also pulling gold, although she ended up losing it due to a better rotation from Team Guan Direction. But overall, uh, this Medusa is a huge threat to Guan Direction, and taking her out and keeping her level headed and not letting her steamroll is the
Hmm.
good choice that the jungler of Guan Direction is doing, Roosteroo, and keeping her on check. With
Definitely.
that, yeah,
Like I was saying about the Gold Fury earlier, I think it was the right call. Nike and Medusa were both there to take it, but Ardio showed up and was doing way too good of a job of interrupting their ability to take that Gold Fury. And I think once they realized that Ardio was very dead set on keeping them away from it, they were sticking around way too long and were just waiting for somebody to rotate in and murder them, which is exactly what happened.
for
Should have
sure. And
just
there
dropped it.
is a fight going on in the middle lane where this Isis might get collapsed on, and the Nike jumps in,
To
but
protect
nothing
her
really
mid
goes
laner.
on. Everyone is just moving on about their business and having fun. With that said, immediately as soon as Morgan's beads went down, Team Brexit realized this when she went into a very frisky corner, which led to her ultimate death, which gave her her first death, and more. Dashi goes up in the air, does not connect to anyone. Bakasura is wrapping around the back.
I think
Morgan is
Dashi
coming
actually
around.
connected onto the Morgan. Looks like she used Morgan ult, but we've got a big ult fight here with the Jonqui ult doing tons and tons of damage. Dashi falls though to the Jormungandr.
Yeah, the World Serpent is still in his ult and pursues this fight, wants to keep going. And I think, yeah, Zonkui
Ooh,
hits the ground and Jorn picks up a kill on the front end. And with this, the trade goes on to Guan Direction, and conveniently, gold also spawns, as all things are favoring Guan Direction right now.
yeah, that was some nice timing on that fight. They got a big wipe and a big rotation from the Jormungandr. Jormungandr still is looking to zone out this Nike, and he's probably going to fall here. Nike does quite a bit of damage, but Hachiman with the return kill onto the Nike. Let's see if they can pick up this Isis though.
Will they be able
Looks
to?
like Isis is just gonna beads and use her that to leave. I don't know the names of abilities. Wing
Wingus.
Gus. PJ has just informed me that it is called Wing Gus.
And
That seems
stasis
like a good
mode for the
name.
full time.
Stasis
It's
mode is
great.
back, guys. We'll be back. Okay, we're back with the action. We're gonna watch this Isis and Nike try to come in and defend this Gold Fury. Jormungandr's here to zone, and Jormungandr's here to kill this Nike after Hachiman's here to kill this Nike. Um, they're
But
coming
ends
around
up
here to
going
try and
down. I think that Isis is also gonna die here because she expended her beads there. Will she safely get out? It was worthwhile if so. But the Gold Fury goes in the way of Guan Direction after that victorious fight that they won. Of Britex team shouldn't have like sent out their Nike and also their Isis for that little skirmish. They're not
yeah.
that far behind in a way, but that was a death sentence. Even if Drone went
Nike
down,
Nike
yeah.
was a bit too low there, and I don't think Isis quite had her ult up either. So there really wasn't much they could do there to um, get to steal the Gold Fury or to potentially get kills. They did manage to kill the Yorm, but that was at the expense of the Nike and Isis's beads. Not exactly worthwhile.
For
Uh,
sure. And now this Hachiman is starting to hit a little bit hard with this Xe coming online. And he opts for an untraditional item that usually goes not really on auto attack type hunter. What do you think of this Jotun strat on this Hachiman?
I'm always a fan of cooldown. I like to all I play everything very ability based because I'm terrible at hitting autos. So I'm not actually super against the Jotun's Wrath, just because he'll be able to ult more. That's a lot of that's a really powerful tool for securing kills, but also for engaging with the slow on the ult. He can also use it to run away. I think it's got a lot of potential, and it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. Can side
Theo
with maybe
engages with her dash into the Isis over here, and Nike jumps in into the One Direction team. Palau it's and Artio gets pulled back and decimated from the Vertex team. That was way too aggressive by the Artio, and also their Nike didn't get the same type of feedback that the Artio got. Speaking of,
Ooh.
the jungler for One Direction was way too far forward, and he had to spend his life for it.
Thinking about that ISIS or the RDO diving in there, her entire team was in the area. I'm guessing follow up with her, but that just wasn't the case. I think they were too focused on potentially the Pyromancer and the camps in the area. They were all there and they definitely could have collapsed, but instead they let RDO go in and die. And then they did come back, and when Nike did the same, went in, they collapsed onto her, but it just wasn't as effective the other way around.
Britax or Brie, what? How do you
Brexit.
say it?
Brexit.
Brexit. Brexit. Speaking of, for fifth time, here we go. You know what I'm about to say? Dab, right?
Guys, stasis mode is rude. We're gonna take a break and we're gonna try to figure this out, but we might just we might switch things up a little bit here. We'll see. We'll be back. Hi guys. So stasis mode's still happening, and as you can see, we're not gonna actually watch the game here because we're gonna see if we can maybe. So stasis mode is like a buffering, so we're gonna try and just let things sit for a little bit and see if we can appease the high res gods, and we'll try again in a little bit. But for now, let's talk. Let's catch up. Let's talk about builds and stuff because this game has been some nonstop action. I know we've got some time travelers in the chat who saw some things. You didn't see them. We're not talking about those things. We're not there yet. We are still. We just had some fighting, and now everyone's pushing down this mid lane here, and we're gonna talk builds. So, builds. Nike built Pridwin. Go her. But she's the only one with a Gem of Fate item. Guys, Pridwin's like kind of OP. What are you doing with your lives?
Exactly.
Hello? I mean, oh wait, no, okay, wait. RDO can't use Pridwin really.
What do you mean?
Because she just switches stances. And,
Yeah, but
I
it's
mean,
her ultimate, right?
I
It
mean,
procs, right?
I guess
Like,
you
hello,
can. I don't know if you
right?
want to. I
Anyone who did any tests on RTO, please confirm this. When she switches,
she
does she
does.
get
When she
Pridman or
switches,
not?
she would, but it's still, you're if you're not paying attention to when your Pridwin is up, you can't switch. Otherwise, you'll just blow that passive randomly. clearing some random buff or
Whoa,
something.
that passive, yeah.
I'm not sure that Pridwin is necessarily the best choice on RDO. I can understand that. And Jormungandr also, I kind of see it. Jormungandr does use his ult to go in and engage, but like I was saying before, he uses it to secure kills, he uses it to run away. Pridwin, at least earlier, isn't necessarily beneficial. I think it's probably, if you're going to get it, it's going to be a very last item, luxury kind of pickup. Because, it's fun. Big health shields are fun.
So I just don't want to say this out loud, but Alex is kind of a troll for getting that Jota's Rat that late.
Yeah.
So, just straight up facts.
It's a bit
You don't build that.
weird.
Please. You don't do that. If you're going auto attack with Devos, you don't do that.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not like Kinsai or something.
I mean, if you really wanted it, right? Listen, if you really wanted it, there's a new item on the Arturian tree called Fail Not, and that
That's
has
a good
20%
point.
CD, right? It's mainly because, aside of ability-based hunters who can't build CD, Fail Not gives an option for that CD to be implemented in hunter builds with the
And
efficiency
some
and
terrifying
exactly.
crit shit. Sorry, am I not supposed to swear? I'm
Alex, I
probably
see
not
you on
supposed to
chat.
swear.
Stop trolling. Anyway, moving on. The
Look at all
ISIS
those
is doing.
wards. Guys,
Yeah,
Guan Direction with the wards. Everybody's got wards in hand. Almost everybody has sentry ward. Alex, we're gonna call you out again for not having a sentry ward. What are you doing?
Why are you not contributing to the team, dude? What's
Dude,
up?
you're slacking. You're slacking. But what were you saying about the ISIS there?
ISIS. ISIS is
ISIS.
ISIS, dude. She just explodes ya.
She
Literally.
explodes you.
Yeah, and
Literally.
I usually I'm yeah, knowing where I am from, it's a very sensitive topic, but hopefully Alright, moving on.
Okay.
Moving on.
Wow.
The Shaman's Ring. It's not really a common item that you see on ISIS's, but it's not too bad. Her one chunks. And with that she chunks even more. I do
Yeah,
not
definitely.
dislike
And
it.
those spirit balls, if she uses her wing gust followed up by a nice tasty spirit ball, with the Spear of Deso, the damage from that Spear of Deso too, stuff's gonna die. I need to stop swearing. I'm pretty sure we're
Yeah, keep
PG-13,
this
but I
team
probably should
PG.
stop.
The viewers are young. You can't just say that, man. Come on.
I'm a horrible person. Can we talk
Speaking of
about
that
how
ice
Ardio
cream,
picked up tank boots? I think that's very different.
yeah, I love it.
I think tank boots are bad. You usually don't see tank boots. I think cooldown boots is kind of the way to go all the way, every time, all the time. Cooldown
Meg,
boots
hold up.
or
You did
cooldown boots or
against some of our
Talarias.
supports.
You
Meg,
got it. Cooldown boots or Talarias. I don't
Meg,
think tank boots give enough to be worthwhile. I think the
Meg.
10% cooldown pays off more in the long run. I'm just saying.
I know
Chat's
this.
gonna
You
hate
would.
me. SweetCold hates me.
Yeah, yeah. You're just trolling. But against the team of Brexit, okay, I
You
said
got
it.
it. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I don't know why do I see the opposite one, but anyway, I like it because they have a ton of CC in forms of the Nike jump. Okay, knockups don't really have DR. DR is
Okay.
diminishing returns, stuns, mezzes, all these things rack up. That
Well,
means like a person who's stunned back to back won't be stunned for the entire duration. It
right.
diminishes in a way. But knockups in a way are the most OP type of CC because once you go up, you just go up and down. There's no
It's
diminishing
the
returns
same
on them.
duration no matter what. Yeah.
Yes.
I do agree crowd control reduction is very nice, but I really, really like the cooldown boots. Just saying. Do you think we're ready? Do you think we can go back in? I think we can go back in now. Let's try to play this game. And we're gonna see what the time travelers already saw. And we're gonna talk about that.
And we're gonna talk
Are
about
we
it.
ready?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. We're live. Can they hear us? Oh, okay, cool. They can hear us. We didn't even stop doing the hearing. Okay, everybody, we're watching as the Team Brexit starts pulling this Pyromancer here. They're gonna grab it. Pretty much uncontested. Red team is in the area, but they're not really looking for it. We got Guan kind of poking onto this Jormungandr, but nothing doing. Yorm's just gonna walk away. Slither? Wiggle.
That Zong looks sure look like a Guan to me. I don't know about that. That's a yeah. They're both Chinese, so I get you. I get you. Anyway, both teams at a halt, warding up, preparing for their next big fight at the Fire Giante. Who do you root it for?
Who do I root for? I
Mhm.
still think One Direction has this pretty locked down. That Yorm's pretty fat and scary. But at the same time, in terms of supports, Nike is decently in the lead above Artio, and Nike's been contributing more to fights, I would say, than Artio has been. So we shall see. I think it's going to come down to how these tanks do tank things, though, because tank
Yeah,
things,
yeah. Tank things. Am I right? Just tank things. Like literally, just standing
just tank
things.
things,
Just tank things. Speaking
tank.
of, Nike is going way deep into the Guan Direction's jungle over here, and Paolo connects into the Bakasura, and he gives his life away. Now, with that successful pick, Guan Direction is looking to engage on the Brexit invaders, and this managed to get out, but Medusa expels her
Ooh,
ult with
big
Kieran
Morgan turning
also,
into a Medusa here, though, with that Medusa ult.
and Jorm going into the ultimate, and Brexit looking to chase this fight out, but will they successfully get another kill onto this? That seems like that's the end of it, and Brexit might go and attempt this fire giant. Will Guan Direction actually defend this fire giant? What do you think?
It looks like Jormungandr's gonna try, but I'm not sure how much he can necessarily do here without his ult up. I mean, he can try to just dive into it. He's tanky enough to potentially live that, but I think that's all he can really do. But with the Isis ult here, that's gonna really outconfirm a Jormungandr, I think. We're not gonna save our Daji with the Isis ult. We're just gonna secure that Fire Giant, and Yorm's gonna go in here, and he's going to fall.
I didn't even see how that Daji died. She shouldn't have died.
She
Marsh is like straight up trolling. Do you
uh,
know the Isis ult was there? You staying in it? You're live, you know?
sticking around quite a bit there. But I think that honestly falls onto the Isis. So we're gonna blame Mystic, one of our mods, for
Yeah.
failing to keep his jungler alive.
Yeah, we should
Mystic,
totally depend
why
on.
didn't you pop your Isis ult a little bit sooner? I mean, I know Yorm was there, do the secure thing, but like, come on.
Come
Save
on,
your
man.
friends. We've got Medusa over here, giving angry eyes to this Bakasura, but Bakasura is just gonna walk away. We've got a pause coming out from
Ooh,
Team Brexit.
this is where the salt comes in. And I see you, Marsh. I see you. This is it.
No, we're not supposed to be pausing for those reasons, SweetCold. We've been over this before.
I know, but Marsh is definitely upset. He's like raging
I
hesitant,
would
like
be.
straight
I
up.
would like
I can look back into the past. You know, they call me Xavier, right? I'm not bald though. Uh, just
no.
to clarify, but he's definitely raging at his team.
Is he? Is he really?
Maybe he is. But Firejan goes to Brexit, and they will have the superior lead in pushing now. And plus they have like One Direction is getting all these kills and they're doing great. But at the back end, if you look at the map, Brexit are the ones who have majority of the objectives up. And Guan Direction is kind of trolling, like, you know, you gotta take objectives to win game. And what Brexit doing, you probably should take some notes.
Definitely. We've got everybody just kind of here, not really looking to do much of anything. Brexit took their fire giant and went back to base, and now they're gonna group up again. Actually, they're gonna pause again. Actually, Guan Direction's gonna pause and
Look at
unpause
who's
very,
the
very quickly.
speed buff with no fire giant buff. Such a shame, right?
Such
Alright, no
a
break.
shame. Um, we're just chilling here now. We're gonna group around. It looks like Team Brexit is gonna look to take their fire giant to push down the right hand side here. That right hand side is the only side left that has a tier 1 tower, so we shall see.
Yeah, grouping up basically to look for a siege here, and Guan Direction is looking to split push the lanes out to make Brexit's life a little bit harder when it comes to pushing down these towers, but Brexit grouping up and just going about getting these towers down. With his fire giant, I think they should only focus on getting these towers, then look for a Phoenix. But if they get an opportunity to get some kills onto Guan Direction, it could possibly be the end of the game as well.
Certainly. Guan Direction's in a bit of a tight spot here with this Fire Giant coming at them.
And
But
Guan Direction is standing their ground, and they're not giving this tier 2 up. This might be their demise or their triumph, depending on how
potentially
this match
so.
plays out. Ooh.
But it looks like Team Brexit isn't looking to take a super offensive stance. Dodgy
Ooh,
blinks in here
nice.
to try and get Pala, but none of it connects. Isis drops her ult, but that also doesn't connect onto any enemies. Jormungandr falls to Medusa, and we've got Morgan turning into Isis here. Big Spirit Ball.
And Bakasura connects, but he dies to the Zong ultimate in the front line itself. Nike jumps back in, that spends the Hachiman speeds, Aegis, and that fight goes in favor of Brexit. You can't really afford to stay in the tier 2 once you have Fire Giant. Against the Fire Giant team, at least, this might be the end of the game, certainly, and they just commit to getting the kill on the Morgan. And will they actually commit to get to the kill to RT? No, they value the Phoenix more, and they might even look for the end here, which is heavily favoring them.
Yeah, they're definitely in a good position to take this here. Hachiman can't necessarily defend against the siege as well as some of the other hunters like Medusa could, and with the
This is
Nike
where the Nike shield coming in,
just
very
blocking those auto attacks, and
that's a
the
really
Titan does fall.
Pod Pie the Great. He didn't get the ult off. He was either CC locked for eternity, or he just didn't think he would die that fast. That
I
caused his team to lose the fight.
I would say it was the definitely the latter there. He was just it didn't look like he was going into the ult was as he died. He just kind of fizzled out. Um,
Pretty
But with
much.
that, that was a great win by Team Brexit. It was definitely looking to be more or less in favor of Team Guan Direction for most of the game, but Brexit pulled it together with those last couple fights there, and managing to secure that Fire Giant, and they just pushed for that win. There you go.
Yeah, like you can't really give up Fire Giant at the end of the towards the crucial the end game 25-30 minutes, because having an Isis on the team basically guarantees you an objective. I would not say for free, but if uncontested, definitely for free. And you need to look out for these type of plays that a player could do with Isis and potentially turn around the game. It was a back and forth game. Brexit was winning early, then mid game, Guan came back with some excellent plays that they made around the Gold Fury, and some kills in the middle lane, and some solo kills by Roosteroo, who accidentally played in the jungle role, has Bakasura ganking the dual lane, not letting this Medusa breathe a little bit, and also ganking the solo lane, keeping this Zonquil low. But at the end of the day, his efforts were sadly not completely utilized by his team, and ended up resulting in them getting the defeat.
That was just not just didn't work out there at the end there. But thinking thoughts. I think we're gonna
Uh,
have an interview here coming up. We have a player who's looking to be interviewed from Team Brexit, who just won this set, and I think we're gonna try and pull him in here and talk to him.
it's
I
not
think
spoilers.
if we're
It's
ready.
somebody who didn't get the Fire Giant. So
It's
y'all might
somebody
know it.
who
It's
didn't get the
somebody
fire.
who didn't get the Fire Giant. If you
We're
guys have
gonna
been
take a
watching this
short
game,
break
you would
here as
know.
we try to get him. We're gonna take a real short break here as we try to get him pulled into this channel, and then we shall see. We will be back though. Give us a hot minute. Hello, everybody. We are back with game number 2 of Brexit versus Guan Direction. The teams have switched sides, so Guan Direction is now the blue order team, and Brexit is the red chaos side team. For bans, we've got Ao Kwang right off the bat, followed by Bologna. So fun fact about this Bologna ban, Pot Pie, the solo laner, plays a mean Bologna. And I would not be surprised to see Bologna banned every single game because we just don't want to see that. It's terrifying. It is Pot Pie's god. And then we've got the Erlong Shen, which is Marsh's pick of choice, I believe. So we're also banning that out. Then the Kronos. Kronos slaps, y'all. Late game Kronos, terrifying.
I
Run far
agree. To the
away.
max. You need to just ban off Kranos, or else it's a pain to deal with. Along with, I think they might look to pick up Nike for Guan
I'm
Direction around this time. So let's see
yeah,
what they're gonna opt for.
Yeah, I would definitely probably want to see that Nike ban. She put in work last game. And I don't know that I want to fight that again. But instead we banned the Zhonghui, who also did quite a bit last game, so I can see that. The big Zhonghui ults are scary. And also the Merlin, another fairly standard, nobody wants to fight it kind of a thing.
Yeah, for sure. Zonkwe was wreaking havoc from, I believe, the Guan Directions. No, wait. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Oh, but Olaran
Hold
was
up.
left open this
Never
time,
mind.
so we're seeing the Olaran. This is our first time seeing him in the and whew,
Hmm.
Olaran's scary.
Yes.
But we also pick up this they're going for the same Isis Nike comp again. Um,
Yeah, it's too strong. You can't
it's
let them
too
have
strong.
both of them. Like they're like Guan Direction is losing sight of the main thing that help like what they're going for, that is web X, and they should not
Mhm.
let both of the picks go to the hands of, Texair, and they should look to like take it away. But right now, since it's locked in, they should have a like opportunity to counterpick in terms of anti-heal, I would say. But Overon in his own self, if the player is good enough, Overon is also decent. Although majority of the people might disagree. But what's your opinion on
I
Overon?
think Olaron's definitely very powerful with his ultimate, especially. He can easily win 1v1 fights, even 1v2, 1v3, if you can hit your stuff. I think it's very, very potent if you're able to land. And he does a lot of damage, and a lot of Oleron builds include quite a bit of movement speed. So despite not having a movement ability, he's got a heal. He'll build some rings. He can stay pretty safe and engage on his own terms. They're also picking up this Jormungandr, probably going to go to Pot Pie once again. Jormungandr did quite well nice last game, and the Najah, likely a Najah support here.
And probably this Daji is locked into Marsh again, and
Mhm.
hopefully he gets his fire buff this time in the second
Yeah,
game.
Brexit's going for quite the same kind of a comp as they did last time. I'm really wanting to see them switch it up here, though. I think they could see there's a lot of fun stuff they could go for, and I'm not necessarily sure that the Daji is the right call. Daji was not super consistent in terms of hitting her ultimates, and actually that might have been Morgan's turn into Daji's. Don't quote me on
You're
that.
not supposed to roast players, Mike. I don't know.
And I'm just saying that maybe a different jungler would be a wise choice. We're gonna ban
I
this
also
Medusa
agree with
here.
you.
We're gonna ban
Ooh, I
this
respect
Medusa
that.
here. The Medusa put in some work last game, and they're gonna ban the Agni again. It looks like we're really not looking to fight this Agni into the Isis, which I think is pretty understandable. Agni does a good job of fighting from distance, and Isis can do some damage from a range, but her silence and her wing gust do need to be. You got to be a little bit closer for those. They're not as a huge range. We're also gonna ban the Athena. Still not wanting that global pressure from an Athena ult to be coming
Yeah,
at
this
them.
Nasha pick looks like most for SLL at least, this pattern has been mostly statistically I think this Nasha has been mostly going to support. So
I
I
would
wouldn't
agree.
be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they opt this Nasha onto the support role and they look to pick up someone with much more CC and defensive stats like Geb or Kumba also because knockups up in the air, those type of CCs are kind of annoying because it makes the team like fight into a 4v5 and that's not really pleasant or fun, right?
Oh, it
So,
looks like Team Guan Direction has opted to pass their final ban. Um,
ooh, is that
Interesting.
BM?
I'm wondering what their plan here is. Potentially they were deciding between a couple of things and they wanted to just leave all of them open, or maybe bait Team Brexit into picking something. But I'm not sure necessarily what they would bait here. That's maybe just a mistake. That's a very interesting. Very interesting.
Ooh,
We've
Brexit
locked in
is
on the
getting.
Xingtian here. Xingtian's interesting to me. Obviously Yorm can't get grabbed by that, but uh maybe we're gonna see Nike actually in the position
I now that
here.
I think about the Xingshan interaction with the Overon, his ult is Sisimu and kind of you get the leverage and moving around freely compared to other support ultimates. So
Hmm.
Xingshan, I don't know if it's a big brain pick by Brexit, but either way, I like it. But at the
Yeah.
end, will it actually fit to the comp? of.
I definitely like some Jingtian, but I'm not sure that it's necessarily the call here.
Yeah. Speaking
And
of, they
it's
locked in Poseidon and Serket, which is going to their respective roles. The typical Naja old Poseidon old combo. That's a really prominent combo that can be devastating and deadly with the
definitely
mid.
some good stuff with that.
Yeah.
And the Serket can similarly chain damage with her ult, which is potent at place enemies in where you want them, but it definitely can do the trick.
Along
And we
with
grabbed the Hou Yi last for Team Guan Direction here, or Team Brexit here.
hopefully he can have the same impact the first game. And
I s-
let's
uh
Alex. Huh?
yes, keep
Let's
on.
see how Alex will take on this Hui. I don't think the overrun crits actually affect Hui. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the passive I think is a weird interaction with the Hui passive unless it's fixed now.
That's
But
yeah,
that's what I've heard.
I'm not certain on that one. One thing that's
Yeah.
interesting to me though is it looks like Team Brexit's draft has been is kind of with the Ice Assault and the Hou Yi ult, it's relatively reliant on Jingtian or Daji ults being successful. But as we were saying previously, Olaran gets some CC immunity. Gunner can't be grabbed. Najah could potentially just take someone up into his ult. So they're not necessarily going to, and just Olaran ult in general will make it really easy for people to dodge out of the Daji or Jingtian ults respectively. So I'm really interested to see
Yeah, for
how
sure.
those end up working out.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Roosteroo on Circuit because first game we saw him on an auto attack character, right? Bakasura, and
Mm-hmm.
seeing him into a much more ability based. Let's see, will he go to a more bruisery type or like a different style of gameplay, which you have to switch it up. So probably let's see like if he can have the same impact that he had the first game, taking out the important targets and not letting them get too far ahead that his team cannot deal with. I like the Circuit pick overall because it counters Isis, right? It counters her healing and in general kind of shuts her down. But at the end of the day, it's Isis. So let's see if they're able to shut this Isis down, which Roosteroo is known to take out on
Uh,
target.
yeah, I agree. I think Serket can is going to be a bit of a pivot point for this
I
team if
think it's
Serket
enough
can.
talk. I'm so eager to get back into this game. So we'll
Wow, just cut me off
continue.
there.
Yeah.
Rude. But
Whoa.
you're probably right. We should get
Yeah.
right onto into this game. We'll be back in just a moment once we've set things up. And we're in. As you may notice, everybody, we are starting this game a little bit closer to minion spawning than usual. Uh, uh the Jormungandr had some issues loading in, so we just kind of skipped over that part. Um, but here we are. Everyone is coalescing here around and going to their respective starting locations.
For sure.
We've
And we
got
see the recurring same picks over at the red team. They got the Nike and the Isis repeating, and also the Daji, along with the unique players getting in, like the unique gods are Hui and also Xing Shen. They decided to put Xing Shen against Jung. What do you think about this?
I think that's a questionable decision. Jingtian can't ult a Yorm. Jingtian can't knock up a Yorm. I guess he can take advantage of that day state. That does allow you to do quite a hefty amount of damage to a Jormungandr, but I'm not necessarily seeing it as a favorable matchup.
Listen, if you
Yorm,
think about it, right? It's blades turning around, right? So it cuts Jorm. So he's
I
gonna
mean,
slice the noodle up.
slice up the noodle. I definitely think it's the damage is potent, but I just don't. He's not got the CC onto the Jormungandr, so we shall see.
For
Um,
sure, and the early aggression coming out from the ice is very common to see, and you know, just a typical skirmish if you're against an ISIS, super annoying.
We've got a bit of a
And mid
skirmish
buff,
over by these right side mid camps. Daji and Serket fighting over them, but while Serket loses the poke war, I think she might have picked up the harpies
yeah, looking at
anyways.
dual lane, almost Guan Direction's dual lane got heavily
Ooh.
outpushed and invaded on the purple. And right now, the Protect's team is looking to invade, and they will successfully invade the red buff and safely get out of here unless Cricket has some tricks up her sleeve.
Yeah,
And it
Serket's
looks
coming
like
around here. Let's
yeah,
see if she
Circuit is
can do
looking to
anything,
cause
but
some
it's
trouble
gonna
in
be
the dual lane. and she is
She
being a little
scares
cautious.
off. She scares them off of the purple buff at the very least. Isn't able to really start a fight or pick a fight, but she's probably for the best though because Naja and Alaran were both kind of pushed back under tower and not necessarily ready to fight. So if Serket had gone in there, it probably would have just turned. They probably would have just turned on her, and she would have fallen. Alaran Naja show up late, and they probably would have also gone down.
Here comes
She's
Circuit
coming around
again
again
after doing some back hams and does a decent amount of damage onto the Hui, and the stash connects onto the Nike. Will she be the first blood around this time? The shield comes out, and the archers, I think, gets the
Yep.
last hit onto Oberon there. It happened the first game too. Nike got first blood, and right immediately, the
Circuit still really wants this Nike though, but she looks like she might get punished by the Hou-Yi. Hou-Yi does punish her. Can Naja pick up the kill onto the Hou-Yi? I don't think he can. The ring toss is not enough. And Hou-Yi's looking to be aggressive here. He does land the bounce, but it doesn't do enough damage to take
yeah,
out
while the
Naja.
skirmish was going on around the dual
Ashes
lane,
going back
Isis
in.
ended up soloing. Ooh, will they get it? Ooh, the Ashes.
The
Unfortunate.
archers. The archers are the death of this dual lane here.
For sure. And meanwhile, the fight was going on around dual lane. Isis got a solo kill onto the Poseidon. And you can't really fight into Isis early as Poseidon. You should just look to safely clear a wave. Can't be super aggressive. And Poseidon ended up paying his price, the ultimate death.
Yeah, a Poseidon without an ultimate is a pretty vulnerable, that's for sure. And Isis has a lot of potential to do some early damage. And now
For sure.
Isis has her ult before the Poseidon too, which means when that Poseidon ult does come up, an Isis ult can be dropped right underneath it.
Yeah, and look for a very good, in terms of like a sustained option as well as keeping the Britex team safer when a lot of CCs such as Overon ult might be dropped upon them. Let's see how this matchup actually gets played out. Pretty chill. So far it's going normally. Everyone is chilling, but first half of these EU games are always thrilling and exciting. A lot of fights starting left and right from the duo side most of the times, and it's usually a mess. And I can see that happening. Like people get lost, and what I mean that by this is that people overstay and not understanding when they should leave and just overcommitting. Speaking of overcommitting, Hui jumps in into the dual lane and just backs off casually, just doing his own thing, asserting dominance, like he was maybe doing.
Asserting dominance. Yeah, I
I
think
think
that's
he
the only
forgot
way
he
to
was
put that
Medusa.
here. Yeah, he dropped his ult and everything. Nike also did that. Oleron and everyone used their ults, y'all. I'm confusion. That was just a lot for a lot of nothing. Nike's jumping in here, looking to be aggressive onto the Oleron, but Naja sashes and pulls her off. That was very unique. That was a nice bounce from that Hou-Yi hitting around from the back though. Cirquette's here though, and she's looking for the blink. She goes in onto this Hou-Yi, and goodbye. And let's see, Naja's looking. It takes the Nike up into the air, and we've got Nike just jumping out, but Daji's here. Let's see if she
Parallel.
grabs that
Ooh, the
Circuit here.
Overon comes in here, and Dashi ends up dying along with Nike. Might also die here if his team. Ooh, close
Ooh,
but
that was
steady.
close.
She got
Ooh,
out.
big spirit ball,
And,
big ice assault. Ice assault takes the life of Alaron, and it looks like she's real close to taking out this Naja. They're gonna chase. Nike jump
guys,
back, knocks him up, and the spirit ball double
nice
kill for.
rotation by the
I
Isis.
yeah.
Yeah, nice rotation by Isis, and the circle of protection hit onto Oberon, and he just didn't even think of anything. I didn't even see it coming. That was like a
Over on the
jungle
right
game.
side, Jormungandr's ulting it onto this Jingtian, and Jingtian will fall.
The
Wow,
big snake.
big snake.
This action-packed game. Duo is going down solo.
One thing to
Everywhere.
note, this while Brexit is running the ISIS Nike combination again, it's actually a different player on the ISIS. Last game was Mystic Megatron, who was a sub, and now they have sold their main player back onto the ISIS. So I'm expecting to see a different style of ISIS play a little bit, because it is a different player.
Oh, for sure. Like Mystic had his taste of playing against Guan Direction. Hopefully, Soul can adjust to the aggression of Guan Direction and look to fight their aggression safely. And he's being as aggressive as Mystic was. That
Oh,
resulted in the beast spent by the Poseidon. Along with it, Daji dove too deep as she ended up paying the price to the tower. And it
and
seems
Serket with
like
her ult onto this Isis, but with the Serket ult on Isis, she's not able to heal from her own.
speaking of,
Damage from
there's
it is
another skirmish going on in the dual lane, engaged on by the Daiki, and they just back off. Dual lane is relatively playing safely, and this is how you're supposed to play when you're behind on a aggressive matchup. And I like them not giving any kills. But speaking of that, Circuit is coming through the jungle, looking for another gank on the dual lane for this third time into catching this. Like Roosteroo is doing an excellent job jungling and going around finding potential points to exploit.
Naja goes in
Meanwhile,
alone, but Houyi and forces Houyi to burn his beads. That was
it is
great.
yeah, great. Like now it's an opening for Circuit who likes to gank duo. Like we saw this last game as well. Like he really likes coming to duo and fighting. Speaking of this, a middle lane blink in by the Daji hits nothing. Paolo but still gets 3 into the Poseidon, knowing he has no beats but ends up surviving. Daji overstays and she
Serket
ends up dying.
cleave autos. Range cleave autos from the Isis take out the Serket. Big Poseidon ult Kraken, but the Spirit Ball comes through and connects.
Circle
We've
of
got
Protections expended after she healed off from most of it. Oberon comes from the back end using his big ult. I think he will also go down here. Isis
Are we gonna
is
see an Isis Quadra
wrecking.
here?
Ooh, Isis is wrecking through the team of Guan Direction. What's
Ooh!
going on? A
Not in time
quadra
for the Quadra
Isis.
kill, but that's 4 kills onto the Isis. That is huge!
This Isis is so fed right now. Like she's so big.
Wow, yeah,
Like
everyone just funneled their way in and that Isis just took lives. Jesus, guys, Isis! I'm terrified.
Isis is popping off. I
And
have to
Team
say at
Brexit's
least.
gonna just turn their eyes onto this gold here, and it's all theirs. Serket and Poseidon are coming up. They might be able to get return kills, but nope. Team Brexit is gone. Not actually, they're not gone. They want the red buff. They're greedy, and it looks like Isis is gonna fall here to the Serket. No, okay, yeah, she goes down
Yeah,
to the Serket.
the
Um,
oldest.
the
Now
shield from the silence was potent. Oh,
Hui
we
seems
got
like he'll get caught off here, or
no.
Roosteroo will get
He's
caught
gonna
off
catch
here.
off that Serket and punish him for killing his Isis. Big
Yeah.
Poseidon Kraken onto the Daji here. Can he secure it? No, he cannot. Daji escapes just barely. There were a couple minions hitting on her, and she almost fell to the minions there. Naja's caught out here. We've got Nike and Houyi coming around for him, but looks like he's gonna be relatively safe. One thing to note though is that Naja just hit level 7, so he's a good bit behind this Nike and this Houyi, so if they chose to engage on him, he would likely fall. Can we
Most
talk?
likely.
These EU teams need to stop fighting so much. This is
Yeah,
action-packed. Y'all need
it's
to
action.
chill.
Yeah, they're fighting all over the map. It's like an arena game,
We're
almost.
this is a lot of kills for 10 minutes into this game, guys.
Yeah,
Like,
ISIS is 8-2, right? 8-2, 10 minutes. It's not even
guys.
10 minutes. You guys need to stop. You need to shut
And
down ISIS.
Dashi with the
Okay,
Paolo here looking to grab Naja. Naja also away. So he doesn't get pulled in, and Poseidon juked it. Poseidon juked it. He did not have to burn his beads there. And we've got the ice assault on the ground.
circle of
Big ice assault.
protection.
Poseidon
This is
uses his
coming.
ult to get away, and everyone walks away from the ice assault.
Yeah, nothing much
Poseidon uses
going
beads
on.
there, which was definitely a bonus. The Poseidon beads will not come up before the ice assault comes up again, so that's kind of a bonus for Team Brexit. But other than that, that was everyone just
Circuit
walked
seems
away.
like she's gonna get caught off guard here and might enter into uncharted territories. Has said into her own jungle. More of Brex's
More
team
fighting
was
over in
there
the
than
mid lane
there.
too.
I don't think
Naja looks like he seems damaged. Daji's looking to come around and grab him though. Big Poseidon ult doesn't quite connect, but the Daji does manage to pick up the.
March was seeing all blood there, and he's seeing more blood getting into this Poseidon, almost killing him. but he successfully gets the support out of the way and almost also
Olaron's being
gets.
pressured on the left side. Nike dives in, a big Hou ult. Olaron tries to save himself with his own ult, but he's still going here. Nike's trying to push on him, but the tower shots are proving too much, and Nike falls to the tower, and Houyi's unable to pick up the kill on the Olaron with the ricochet. Olaron's still sticking around, trying to defend his tower a little bit, which might be a bit risky. Houyi ricochets kill him! But Naja's here, he's gonna try and do a bit of damage control, but he's a good bit. Oh, here's Suket also. Suket's gonna help secure this kill onto this Houyi there.
Looking into the solo lane, this Isis is rotating into this Jormungandr. Will they actually get this kill? We'll see and find out.
And Yorm's just gonna ult away. Isis tried to burn her ult to use her ult to kill him, but it was not fast enough. And that was a fast pop of that Isis ult.
Yeah.
Yorm tries to use the ult a little bit aggressively to get some damage down instead of just running away. And that was his ultimate demise there. Jing Tian barely has any health, but he is still alive. And Jormungandr falls.
Yeah, for sure. And they're gonna take an early pre-13 tier 1, I assume. Yeah, they're gonna take it in favor of Brexit.
In the mid lane here, we've got Naja and Olaron trying to fight into this Nike. I'm guessing hoping to push down that last few bit of health on that tier 1 tower there. But Nike is perfectly fine defending against the two of them.
So speaking about the ADCs, it seemed like Alex and also Edu just switch roles. I think they switch accounts as well at this point because they're completely different playstyle. Alex is playing much more confidently on this.
Fight here in the middle lane. We've got Daji ult pulling in, trying to pull onto this Naja, but Naja once again ults right on out. He's not looking to have any of that nonsense. Over on the left hand side, Olaron is in trouble here with this Houyi. Houyi managed to get some damage off onto him and then just drops the ult to secure that kill.
Alex, I was just about to praise you and you die. It's not how it works. Alright, moving on. Britags team is just grouping up around this Gold Fury since they took it, confirmed it last. Now they have vision on it and also the timer on it, so they will easily look to snatch this one out.
They're going into onto the Circuit, but Daji tries to go into the Circuit, but Circuit instead takes the life of the Daji. We've got Nike caught out here a little bit, but run by 3 members, and the big Poseidon ult managed to take him down. We've got Houyi trying to go in on this Poseidon, but Poseidon looks like he's going to get away thanks to his support, and the support will clean up the Houyi. Jormungandr ult comes in also and is keeping this Isis zoned off of the backline, and Isis will fall. Wow! Big rotation there from that Jormungandr. That really helped. I think the downfall there was Daji going in to try and pick off the Circuit, and she just got pulled, and they managed, Team Guan Direction managed to pick everyone off.
Yeah, for sure.
Jing Tian tries to defend the Gold Fury with his own ultimate, but it's just not enough. Wow.
Yeah, it was a wasted effort. But unfortunately, Britags' own solo layer couldn't make the rotation, and Jorm with this World Serpent ultimate was able to cut the distance much faster in that fight and be there for his team in assisting the fight overall. And that fight was really awkward because Marsh or the Daiji got cut off. Along with the Gold Fury, we're looking at the Pyromancer right now, and both getting secured puts their gold leads, bumps it up for a lead of almost a K in this 15 minutes, which is not huge, but it's prominent enough looking at how these fights are going, and how things are panning out to be. Now they're taking it slow, getting back and spending their gold onto items. I like the play from the Poseidon, right? He tried to zone out, but at the end of the day, like, the numbers game won, affects the fight.
Poseidon's a little caught out here. Daji's gonna jump in on. Poseidon's gonna try to use his ult to save his life, but he does not connect onto the Daji. The Spirit Ball from the Isis does way too much damage, and Poseidon will fall there. The man's just trying to get his red buff, but Team Brexit's not having any of it, and now they're all gonna collapse onto this Olaron under his own tower. Olaron uses his ult to try and defend himself, and he's gonna turn onto the Houyi, try to cure that. The Aegis from the Houyi comes out, and Houyi looks to be relatively alive, but here's Circuit to hopefully change his mind. It looks like Hou Yi burned his beads at the very last minute there, and we've got Nike taken up into the air. Ice Assault is here to hopefully keep Nike alive when she lands, and it does do just that.
And
Big damage
Serket
on
jumps into the backline, ults into, and leaves him, but he dies. Wing does too strong for the
But she-
Serket, hits the ground, has to Aegis the last stick of the poison. And Dashi's coming around the side. It's a 2-for-3 favor in terms of Guan Direction. So they should look to get out or take this fight. And seems like Vertex won this fight with the Fed Ices that they have going on for Seoul. And they're overstaying here. I would like them to see them retreat. And
there's a big final taking out that Dashi.
Yeah,
Ooh.
takes the life of Dashi. It's so action packed. Like people are just getting killed left and right. You guys spawn and you guys with your ult, you just go kill people. Like
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Y'all
is
wild.
so much fun. Anyway, getting the solo push on the solo tower by this Xing Shen. And that's really good. That helped him catch up on the lost XP that Jorm had over him. And there's nothing much about that. Like it's back to back. Both teams need to chill, look to take much more selective fights because slowly the lead is gonna tilt in one's favor. Where big objectives such as Gold Fury and the Pyromancer going in Guan Direction's favor is just favoring them with the item lead. So Britex should look. I mean, they're ahead and their ISIS is fed. They should look to play more on the ISIS so she can contribute much more in terms of overall damage. And speaking of her passive, also, right, her funeral rites, it gives her 10 stacks of HP 5 and also mana. And additionally, it gives 10% cooldown. So it's probably stacked to the max. So playing around her in general will just.
We've got everybody collapsing on this Jormungandr here, but Jormungandr's gonna ult out. Snecko does not want any of that nonsense. But now that means that this Jormungandr ult is down. And if Team Brexit here can sneak away a little bit, they're not under threat of that semi-global ultimate from the Jormungandr. They're going to start pulling this Fire Giant here, and Naja is here to respond, and Team Brexit is ready for it, and they're just going to turn right onto Naja, and Naja has to ult away. And use his sprints as well. Next is Serket and Jormungandr are now both looking for this Fire Giant to hopefully defend it. Dashi goes up onto her Palau. She's going to try to grab Jormungandr, but Jormungandr is immune to being grabbed by that. The Serket jumps in onto
actually commit, but the Isis was too far, and the Kraken hits 3 people right there.
Huge
big Kraken by Katanas.
That's a deicide.
And they even got fire of it. I don't know why.
That's a whole deicide and a big ass FG steal. What the heck, y'all?
What are you guys doing?
Why was no one zoning that Poseidon? What?
What? What happened?
I'm pulling back.
Yeah, they tanked. From my perspective, the red team just straight up neglected, and they wanted to commit to the Fire Giant, but what they did is they expended the Ice Assault on much sooner than they expected, ended up not securing the Fire Giant and leaving a little bit of health, which enabled Guan Direction's team to barge in the gates of FG and just look to annihilate their team along with securing this Fire Giant. Props to them, but like underestimated play by the red team. Really, like they should have been much more aware. They got baited. That's all I have to say to that.
Yeah, I think red team was looking to do some baiting, and they tried to turn on that Naja, but instead we just had this massive Poseidon Kraken come out, and now Team Guan Direction has taken the mid Phoenix, and looks like this right hand tier 2 as well. Wow,
Yeah,
that turned fast in the favor of Guan Direction. Before it was Guan Direction was definitely a little bit ahead, and but now this is a rather dominant looking lead now.
Yeah, that was a really. It was. I'm speechless still. Like that steal was never supposed to happen, and this Fire Giant steal 100% tilts the game in Guan Direction's favor. And now they should look to get all the towers and look to push for Phoenixes. And by slowly they'll be extending obviously their lead. And with extending their lead with the overall in their team, it only gets worse for Team Protects here. And we'll see how they're gonna come back into this game.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wow. Yeah. That's definitely huge. Team Guan Direction is just gonna pull this Gold Fury, even though Team Brexit has full vision on it, and Team Brexit's not looking to contest this at all. I'm surprised they're not over trying to push up minions on the left-hand side. They're pretty pushed up, and now Guan Direction's just gonna take these left-hand towers as well. Team Brexit needs to do something. They need to do something to stop this push from Guan Direction. And while I do think fighting at the Phoenixes is probably their best bet, being all the way over at this Pyromancer when the entirety of Team Guan Direction is pushing the left side is just, I really don't think it's the call.
I mean, if they get it, they're gonna get back to Phoenix faster, right? They need some sort
Uh,
of gold in their pocket, and being late
I,
to the siege defense is not really helpful because you are
I,
not in
s-
position and you'll be out of position. As you can see, the
uh,
Phoenix is going down.
even
Dashi
with the
comes in,
Pyromancer, it was
goes
not
up in
fast
the
enough.
air, hits nothing, but Phoenix goes down. It was the easiest Phoenix siege I've seen in my entire life. That was no
Yeah.
contest at all. Now they're
And
looking.
Guan Direction just walks right away. They still have this fire giant buff on them for a decent amount of time, and they're just gonna meander on over to this right side Phoenix, their next target here.
Let's see if they will actually take a defensive position around this time because with Isisol they have much more impact. And Jorm gets caught out by himself, and which Alex gets the kill onto the Nike, and everything is a massacre. Warweaver hits, and the back end Daji is trying to get a kill onto the overrun, but the ultimate is way too strong in stopping it. Isis gets caught out last at the end, and the only sole survivor is the Hui, which I doubt will be able to stop their rampaging massacre. I
Not
think their
without his ult
morale.
up.
Yeah.
That was wow. And here, Guan Direction just pushes down this Phoenix. There's really
I
nothing
mean,
Hogi
I
can do
think
here.
the whole morale just went away when they stole fire and got
Yeah,
like a
that fire
pentakill.
giant fight
Oh,
was
yeah.
rough. The Deicide definitely turned just totally turned the board in favor of Guan Direction. Wow, that was wild. I think going for that Pyromancer at the end there was definitely the wrong call, but it might have been, everybody's just kind of not really sure what to do
NC.
here, giving up a bit. That
Mhm.
was crazy. I don't know about
Right.
you though. That Poseidon there was definitely my MVP for that game. There were some ginormous Krakens coming through at the end there. Obviously the steal of the FG, but just at that last fight at the right hand Phoenix, these Krakens coming through.
Yeah, I
Krakens,
guess
man.
I don't know, the Soul Isis, he was doing great, but he couldn't end up winning the game even though he got like quadra early, an
Mhm.
official quadra early, and he couldn't manage to get his team into victory. But over and all, whoever made that fire giant call was the ultimate deciding factor for this game, and I think that was their demise, really.
100%. I don't think necessarily the fire giant was the worst decision if they were trying to bait or if they were trying to set an ambush kind of a thing. But they stuck around on that fire giant too long, and they thought once they zoned out the Naja that was the end of it. But Poseidon was right around that corner there. That all comes down to not enough warding. I feel. I didn't
Yeah.
see how many wards were around there, but that's the only thing I can really chalk it up to.
Yeah, and from my perspective, Team Guan Direction played much more as a unit compared to
Definitely.
Vertex, and yeah, and that also was a factor in them winning this set match.
Definitely. If we look back all the way back to that Gold Fury fight, that was definitely another problem that Brexit had was not playing together. But
Mhm.
with that, we've tied up the set, which means we go to a game three. This is pretty tight, y'all. Let's we're gonna take a quick break and then we'll come back to you with game three of EU match A5 between Guan Direction and Brexit. Hello, everybody, and we are back. The teams have switched sides yet again, so now we have Brexit on the left-hand side and Team Guan Direction on the right, just like back in the first game. We see this first Bambolona again. Pot Pie really isn't getting the time to shine on that. Guys, I'm really sorry you don't get to see it because it's great. But it looks like nobody wants to face that. We also have the Aokbong, the Kronos, same as we've been going through. Or let's
Yeah, I
see.
want to
Also,
see
oh, now we're
the
finally banning out this Isis though. Uh,
about time. It took them long
Souls'
enough to
Isis
manage
was
ISIS.
terrifying. I'm I'm glad for that. He was 10-3 by the end of that match. I don't want one of those. Not
Yeah, for
again.
sure. Almost
Unofficial
carried the
quadras
entire
and stuff.
game.
No man, no way, man.
Yeah, almost carried the game all by himself, but
And
in
we're
the end,
banning out this Jormungandr
completely
as
shut
well, though.
down.
Pot Pie played Yorm 2 games in a row, and now it is gone. I'm interested to see what he picks up
Yeah.
instead.
So Meg, you know about Pot Pie? So his whole entire god pool is gone, or what's this about?
I actually don't really know his god pool.
Oh,
I know that Belota is really good. It appears Jormungandr is something he likes. Fun fact about Pot Pie: Pot Pie was in SLL numero uno as a mid laner. Pot Pie prefers to play mid, but he's definitely better at solo. So this is the thing we do here. We banned the Oloran also, not gonna let that come through again. Actually, Guan Direction had the Oloran last game, but I think they just want to take it off the table instead. But that leaves open the Merlin, which Brexit hops right on. Erlong Shen, who has been banned in the last few matches, is also being hovered. But
mhm.
before we were thinking Erlong Shen might go to Marsh, so and I'm interested to see what Guan Direction wants to do with it. They
Yeah,
also pick up the Naja a second time.
I haven't seen this Erlang Sheng on the EU side for these in the set yet. So looking since EU is like since Erlang Sheng is locked in, we can see the potential that Erlang Sheng was hidden upon. And this Nasha is also probably looking to go into the support role. Speaking of, and
Looks
this
like,
Nike.
yep,
Yes, go.
Freeze is looking for that Nike support for the third time here. Probably gonna take it. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Right,
Freeze was
sure.
plenty successful on this Nike time and time again.
You
And
wanna have a poll? Will Freeze get the first blood the third time in a
oh,
row this
did
game?
he
Will
got
he?
first blood both games?
Yeah,
Oh
all to
wait.
both games.
Oh my gosh,
Ooh.
I didn't even notice that. Oh, but the Athena Medusa combo. This is this is
Oh.
a fun combo. My favorite thing about this combo is Athena and Medusa in lore don't get along so hot, but they play way too well together in this gosh dang game.
For
So,
sure. They forgo their Nike pick, and Athena in the second phase was banned a lot.
mhm.
Uh, and seeing it picked up now, I think, Team Brexit is just bringing out the spice. They really want to win this.
Like they got the
Seems to me.
spice. They've got the
Let's go.
Merlin and the Medusa and this Athena with the global ultimate. It's really gonna come through here. Let's see what they respond with and see maybe which solo laner they're gonna pick up here. Or actually, I'm guessing Erlang Shen might actually go. Oh no, jungle.
Jungle, yeah.
I know how the roles in this game work, guys. I know how.
Yes. Yeah, certainly
Ardio.
not.
Ooh, I love me an
So, yeah.
Ardio. Bear lady, man. Bear lady. Ardio's a nice pickup here, though. Definitely could do the solo stuff, the scary solo stuff, but we could also see Ardio support with Erlong in solo as well in Naja Jungle. Is that a thing that happens anymore? I don't think it is. Um,
Yeah.
they're gonna ban out the Zhonghui here. Zhonghui did cause some pretty big problems the first game. We're also
Mhm.
gonna ban the Poseidon. Good choice. Katanas' Poseidon last game was smacking.
Literally carried through Fire Giant, excellent ults onto multiple members of Vertex team, and it's just Katana is just too good on this Poseidon. Taking it out is completely valid.
Mm-hmm.
And along with it, Artio. If you guys remember the first game, if you've been here with us this long, thank you for sticking around. But if you guys been watching the first game, we saw this skirmish that happened. Artio just aggressively dashed into the entire enemy team and just died. So I hope that
Yeah.
doesn't happen. This is the final
Let's
game. So teams are gonna probably
hopefully they've
be
learned.
yeah, hopefully they've learned, recovered, got advices from their coaches,
Mm-hmm.
and ready to be better. Along with it, the last band coming out,
The
Agony.
Yeah, the Circuit and the Agni were the last couple there. Circuit put in work last game. I'm not too surprised by that one, and it seems consistently banning this Agni. We just don't want to fight it. Maybe Katanas' Agni is even better than their Poseidon. Who knows? We're gonna pick
Who
up this
knows?
Hachiman.
Oh no,
Hachiman.
it's the same matchup we saw in game one, Medusa
That's
versus
very
Hachiman.
true. Wow.
And
Yeah, and
Alex.
I probably Ardio also, maybe Ardio support also. So it could
Yeah,
be
probably.
almost the same with the exception of this Nike. That's gonna be that's
Yeah,
gonna be interesting. I think with the
Team
Athena,
Vertex.
I think with the Athena instead of the Nike, even that tilts things even more in the favor of Medusa. So
for sure. Yeah, I
let's
wouldn't be
see.
surprised if Nike went past through the banning phase here. So I wouldn't be surprised if either of the teams decide to pick up Nike, seeing her prominence in the buff
Mm-hmm.
she got, and overall a great pick regardless because of her passive in
Oh,
general, which gives
but
team
instead we're
buffs.
gonna see this Ares.
Ares solo question mark.
Ares probably so. I feel the solo Ares. That's
Marsh
rough.
getting
And
the
Marsh on the Daji for
Dashi
the third time also.
thing.
The Ares solo though, that's some scary stuff, especially if that's Artio or Erlong solo. Neither of them are gonna want to deal with those Ares chains coming at them. Looks like it's gonna be Artio solo though, as Pot Pie does not trade it.
And
Um,
Katana's be getting the Janus, which can have the same impact as Poseidon that he played against, because the ultimate, if it hits max range, can be also be devastating, or also look to steal Fire Giant if Souls this time cannot steal Fire Giant or secure. I think Katanas will be there securing if he fails his job.
most
But
certainly, most certainly.
with that said, typical Mersh is on the same pick along with the man the mole. Support is again put it on to Naja. I like the Naja, but solo Artio against Ares.
Ares.
It's gonna be an interesting matchup, really fun to see, I think. Ares with the recent buff chunks and Artio in general also does the same
Mhm.
amount of damage, but who will reign true king in the solo lane, we'll find out.
We'll be back in just a moment. Hello, 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 everybody. We are back with game number 3 of Guan Direction versus Brexit. The score is currently tied, and we have Brexit uh, on the order side here, and Guan Direction on the chaos side. We are pausing already. We have a DC from the Giannis. That's a dang shame, but we can take a look at these early builds also.
Maybe
What?
Brexit can end up winning the game with Katana's DCing. We'll find out.
We shall see. Um, One thing, I mean, these builds are pretty par for the course. This is what everybody more or less has been going with this whole game. We do see this tiny trinket for the Ardio. In the when Pot Pie was playing Jormungandr, he was going for the Warrior's Blessing with tier 1 boots, but a
Mhm.
little bit more aggressive with the tiny trinket here instead.
Yeah, trying trinket, he's probably opting to go for Pythagoras piece, I'm guessing, or else I don't really see what you call the other one, which is Soul Gem, or even I
Mm-hmm.
can't recall the other, like the
Bancrofts
main,
or
yeah,
Typhons.
Bancrofts. Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
so. That's a very good direction for RTO in general, but I can see the use of Bancroft, sorry, Pythags, because it
yes.
helps team, it gives some sort of aura of lifesteal. All in all, it's a good pickup
I
for
definitely
team.
agree that I want that to be a Pythags and not really anything else in the tree. Maybe Bancroft. Prob.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ares chains at level 1. PJ just told me to talk about them. I'm not really sure. Wait, like, did he unlock chains first? Is that what you're telling me, PJ? Okay. Yeah. Ares with the shackles level 1 instead of the fire. What, sir? Um, I guess if
The
he's looking to be,
Abaddon X
get a,
Bone has
if
been
he's looking to
fragging.
get an early aggression onto the Ardio, maybe an early, but really the flames do more damage. They're the thing that just got buffed, right? I'm guessing that might have been a mistake though. I don't know about you, but I have frequently just loaded in and gone 1, 2, 3 in a conquest match and been like, oh wait, I'm level 1. I don't have all of my abilities, and I just unlocked
Yeah.
my first one.
I
Oopsie.
mean, maybe X-Boy is a godlike chain hitter on Ares. You never know.
Maybe.
And can absolutely demolish Popeye,
Uh,
in lane.
the real
It's,
damage there though is gonna come from those minions though. He's definitely needs the fire to stop the minions from murdering him. Even if he can hit all of those chains onto the RDO, I really think that he needs to kill the minions. Early game minions are scary, guys. We're having the game on pause here. Does it look like Dashi's really rotating over Ares though to help him? So I'm not sure. I'm really level 1 chains, guys. What are you
yeah.
doing?
I don't know. I think he's going for the big brain, like every time this dual lane for both these teams have been getting the first blood. So I think his plan, right, is to get first blood in solo lane, and I agree, it's the biggest brain play that I could think of. And
Yeah.
props to X-Boy.
What?
0?
Did you turn us off? Okay.
I mean, I'm at 10. I'm 0,
I'm at
10.
8.
I'm 0, 10.
10?
0, 10.
Alrighty here. We are back. Sorry about that. The pauses kind of mess us up a little bit. So we're just trying to make sure everything's okay. Over in the solo side, Ares and Artio are really smacking on each other right away. But on the duo side, the action is a little bit more intense. We're looking at a nice little bit of a poke fight as we try to clear this first wave of minions.
For sure, Freeze is taking more damage than he bargained for and has to waste all of his spots, and an aggression coming from Man the Mole this time will... Nah. It was so close. Very aggressive duel lane for both these teams. It's always good to see a good fight instead of a boring laning phase, but at the same time, y'all need to be careful. And so far, it's looking good. I think dual lane again will be the place where you'll find your first blood quota. The ring toss connects and slows both the members of Brexit, enabling them not to go much forward than they have been. I like this builds coming out from the Merlin. I know usually people don't really go immediately to that lifesteal, but along with it, like, in a way, you don't have sustain. But as Merlin, you kind of have a lot of abilities. With that said, dual lane, stash connects, and it's just a back and forth game at this point in dual lane. It's not nothing much going on. But as I said, the builds are very untraditional. Usually, you look to go immediately after the pendant gets penned, and look to do much more damage via pen instead of like sustain. But if you were to get early Bancroft, I don't know what path this Merlin is opting to go. With
Looks
that
like we've
said,
got a
the blink
rotation here
coming
from
on.
the Erlang Shen in onto the duo side. Looks like Athena is going to fall, and Athena doesn't get first blood this game. She gets first blooded instead. Sorry, Freeze, the first blood streak's gotta end. Um,
Yeah, you
but
got
I,
shut down on the first blood. That
but
was a
I
really
do,
cool rotation. And
yeah,
there's a really
I think
good
that was a very nice rotation.
everything that Roosteroo does has jungle. It's just too perfect. It's just at the late game, he's clueless, and sometimes he's also directionless. If you tell me, like, this boy is 100% like a diamond caliber player, if he knows how to play his late game, because early game his ganks have been exceptionally good. Even mid game, some of the ganks taking out potential solo like carries in their lanes and looking for certain picks have been excellent choices. But late game, his decision making kind of gets hazy and gets picked because obviously, like, the scaling on damage on both carriers on the other side is higher than the early game. So obviously you can't really, get stuck in dwell too much in certain positions for too long without getting murdered. And let's see how this game goes. Like, again, the dual lane aggressive, and Rushiru making plays for Guan Direction. Will they be able to win this game? Is my question. Who do you root for?
I think that Brexit's draft is, or no, Guan Direction's draft is very, very strong here. The Ares is definitely a big hitter. Oh wait, I have the names messed up on my screen. I'm sorry. Brexit's draft. I like the Ares. I like the Medusa Athena combo. I like the Merlin. Over on the left-hand side, we've got
Oh,
a fight on this purple buff here, though. Joji jumps right in on this Hachiman, and Hachiman will fall. Looks like we're gonna try to chase the Nazra a bit down, but he is a bit too quick. And
yeah,
that
too
was a
ambitious
nice
by Guan
little,
Direction.
yeah, that was a
To go
nice
for him.
return kill there, though. Not necessarily a return kill, a nice defense of the purple buff. for a
We
kill.
have gone through this again and again. Like they give a first blood, they give it right back within the right next minute. And right now, again, Brexit's dual lane is looking to invade, but Erlangshan secures their purple instead. Erlangshan is looking to engage on this, but this engagement goes south real quick. With that said, he's looking
Athena
to wrap
taunt
around the
just
back.
interrupting.
He's wrapping around the back because Athena taunt is, and it's
Big
also
ultimate
hit
from Erlang
back.
Shen lands on both Athena and Medusa, but
And
here,
Stash connects and he gets the kill Naja as a support. Man like Mo was
wow,
the final blow.
that almost looked like drop kills there though, because Erlang Shen went in, but Naja was way in the back. He was not ready for Erlang Shen to commit that hard.
For sure.
Luckily, Athena didn't run right away as soon as she possibly could, and um, the
Yeah,
kill was.
talking about the cooldowns, like Athena taunt or generally like support taunts. Or with that said,
Ooh,
Popeye solos the Ares. Wait,
wow,
hello? Isn't this supposed
Popeye.
to be the? He's
um,
popping off. All right.
That's yeah. I wish I had seen what had gone down there. It looks like Ares was I thought Ares was pretty in control of this lane. You would think, but I guess those level 1 chains are really coming back to bite him. We've got quite a bit of damage from this Merlin coming in onto the Giannis, but Giannis is able to just portal away and leave.
For sure. And I like this Roosteroo's style of play, right? He had the
Hmm.
auto attack style play on the first game, and then he switched it up to ability based circuits play, which he did great, but at the end it didn't really like match up. But at the end, but he ended up winning for his team, even though his performance was not the most standout. Either way, now again he's transitioned back into an auto attack character, and like Shang is heavily like auto attack based, and the way he wraps
Over on
around
the
the
solo
jungle.
side, we've got Ares is alt onto the Ardio, and Dashi has also, but Ardio managed to juke the Dashi alt, and she's got and she's still fighting into both of these characters here and doing rather well for herself. She's got a lot of damage onto this Dashi. Giannis is ulting across to try and rotate and help, and Daji managed to escape under her own tower. A lot of Ares chains going into this Ardio, but Giannis is here to help now, trying to secure this Daji kill, and no kills here,
With
but
that
Merlin is
said,
also
it's
here,
an
and he's got a
engage,
lot of potential to do damage here, and Ardio takes a tower shot. That was a little dicey there, but
and Ares
Daji
also
falls
ends
to
up.
the rotating Roosteroo, and Ares falls to Rooster as well. Wow.
Yeah, it was a really good attempt by the Ares to stay knockup immune because the fire
Mm-hmm.
actually makes him root immune, or sorry, knockup immune on his channeling. So even though he was knockup immune, the damage alone was enough to kill him at the end. Great rotation again by Roshiro. That blink ult has changed the game, the tide in his team's favor so many times at this point, about 2 times 1 in duo again. Right now again this rotation on solo. He's playing so lights out right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. We gotta hand one over to Popeye there for he just really holding his own in that Ares and the Daji both there, doing tons of damage, nearly killing the Daji 2v1 1v2 on his own. Um, and then even with I would say Giannis's rotation was rather quick, but a little maybe not perfect, but Ardio just kept it going, kept it alive there, and allowed the jungler to show up and
Yeah,
get a
for
couple of
sure.
kills.
Yeah, the ult was much more of a defensive ult that came out from Janice. If it had it been an offensive ult, it would have been much like the cleanup crew reaching
Mm-hmm.
there would have been much more smoother and slow, like cleaner. But at the end of the day, the whole of the favor went in the direction of Guan Direction, so that ended up working out for them. And right now we can see Medusa building the same build that she built the very first game. She really loves the Kronstadt, and which I agree on to this because she does a lot of damage, and we saw this matchup before. Did Alex learn from this matchup? And again, Airline Shen is looking to wrap around, but instead of this time, he's just gonna back off instead of attempting a gank.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I think over on the right hand side, we've got a bit of a fight onto this Ardio. Daji's here for her. Daji with the ult connects the ult, and Ardio, it looks like she might actually finally fall here. Ah, she's just living. And unfortunately that
Yeah.
Giannis ult just barely misses, and looks like Giannis might be a bit caught out here. He has to use his own beads. It does quite a bit of
But
damage onto the Ares, but not enough to clean up the kill. Our Longshen is here though to try and clean it up. He's got a lot of damage, and he falls,
ooh,
and the Giannis portals through to take out the Dashi as well. Got big fighting onto this Athena, but Athena's full health, and we're just gonna walk away from it.
yeah, every single rotation from Rooster seems just to click. Sometimes on
Over on the left-hand side, Medusa's in a bad spot here. Hachiman ult and not ult burned to take out Medusa. Medusa also blew her ult right at the end there too, so that's rather unfortunate there. That ult will be down for the next fight also.
yeah, it's the ult is better than the beads, so the ult will be up sooner than beads. So her beads being up will be helpful later on, escaping the Naja ult if he decides to ult. With that said, Guan Direction is looking to pull this Gold Fury this soon, and Retex have no awareness of this whatsoever.
I
They're
think
just
they have a
taking it
bit.
away.
Merlin's coming up on it, but Merlin's not going to show up in time to be able to take it. He might be able to. Nope, not even in time enough to get a couple
And
kills.
Guan
Maybe onto
Direction is not even
Nasha.
risking it.
And
They
yeah, Guan
just
Direction
sprinted
is
out.
out. They're not
They
having
just-
any of
yeah.
that. But I can definitely agree with that. Merlin can do a lot of damage, and that's not something I want to deal with, man. No way, no way.
Yeah, for sure. It's annoying. And with that said, you know what he got hit with? The status.
Okay,
Let's go.
stasis mode probs. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be back. There's some action over in the soul lane that we will bring to you in just a moment. Okay, we are back, and we have some party over in the soul lane. Maybe it's actually not happening yet, but that's what we're going to be keeping an eye on here. I may or may not be a time traveler. Artio is going to get ripped into by some of these chains and return onto them. Ares is going to ult and pull her under his own tower, but Artio is just going to kind of shrug off those tower shots. But those chains, this Ares has been consistently hitting the chains. Now generally you're supposed to face the chains out a little bit to maximize their duration. Not necessarily doing that, but the damage is the damage nonetheless. But here comes Roosteroo rotating around the side here, and Ares is still here. So Rooster, with his on-point rotation so far this game, definitely has a lot of potential to kill onto this Ares, and there he goes. Daji comes in with Athena ult on top of her to try and ult, but Artio and
meanwhile,
Arlington are too
the
far away.
dual lane again, the Medusa is being engaged upon with, and she also hits the ground. This Naja and Hachiman is punishing this Medusa compared to the very first game where the Medusa was having free reign over Alex's Hachiman. But this time, because of being Athena's global pressure, instead of being with this Medusa most of the time, Freeze should look to wait a little bit instead of being aggressive with his ultimates, and look to aid for his Medusa, because you know how much this Medusa have been doing for their team, and look to keep her safe instead of ulting aggressively into solo for most of the fights being useless.
We've
With
got
that
Merlin
said,
pretty caught out here over by the Pyromancer. He's taking a lot of damage here. Arlong ult on him, but we've got the beats from him, and then Ares comes in here and ults. Big ult gets a lot of people.
Ares also seems like they're gonna hit surrounded by all members of the Guan Direction.
Yeah,
So,
a really nice Ares ult, but nothing there to follow up on it. And so he goes down, and now Team Guan Direction is just gonna pick up this Pyromancer here, pretty much for free. Woof. Over on the left-hand side, Medusa's just trying to split push her life away. In the first game, Medusa really succeeded in those 1v1 fights against the Hachiman, but with Naja there to assist, Medusa's not in as favorable of a position.
for sure.
Looks like Daji's a little bit out of position here. She's trying to invade this red buff, but Hachiman and Giannis aren't that dead set on her murder, and she's able to walk away.
Really interesting. As I said, Free should look to assist his Medusa. Like, again and again, they're losing because of the losing control of dual lane, and that's not good. And they should look to protect this Medusa.
Daji's ulting up into the air for this Giannis, but Giannis pre-beads and just portals on out of there with the Daji ult having nothing there. I'm not really sure.
How it is. And you know who got hit by the status?
Oh goodness! Oh my gosh! Okay, we'll be back. Stasis mode is rude.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. We're gonna try that thing again where we take a short little 5-minute break and talk about whatever we can think about to talk about. So hopefully stasis mode will unstasis mode and we won't have any more of these problems for the rest of this game. For now though, let's take a look at these hot graphs. And Brexit, no, Guan Direction, I still haven't switched them. I probably should do that. Guan Direction has a hot lead. Almost 5k gold only 12 minutes into this game, and 4k experience as well. That's a lot. And granted, they
Yeah,
are up 10 kills. I mean, it's to be expected that they're gonna have quite a lead. But this is really impressive for the how long this game has been going on.
for sure. Usually we're used to seeing Freeze on the, front foot here, but around this game, even though he was losing last game, around this time with the Athena, him picking traditional supports made him fall behind. Do I see a coincidence here? I guess not. The Nike is too strong, and I guess he's into much more aggressive style of play, and we can see it through this Athena plays too. Although most of his old decisions and actual fight choices didn't align for him, that caused him, to fall behind along with the Naja getting the lead over him because of the Naja pairing up with the Hachiman to kill this Medusa again and again. And she wishes she had an Athena. So Freeze,
hmm
come on, help your ADC.
Yeah, and at the same time, the Athena, while she has been using her ult to try and apply pressure around the map, and I'd say she's been successful at applying pressure, but has the ults around the map been necessarily helping? Pressuring, yes, but securing kills, saving teammates, maybe not. Another thing I want to look at is these player damage charts, and guys, Ares does a lot of damage. Um, he's got a hefty damage lead over the Ardio. Even though Ardio is more or less winning in lane, Ares has had some nice big ults onto the enemy teams, and he's been ripping chains into everyone's buttholes. Chains
Whoa,
hurt,
whoa, whoa, what?
guys.
What?
That I didn't
PG?
mean to say that. This is how I usually
PG?
talk, and I'm really bad at saying if you couldn't.
Whoa, what was
But
that? All right,
chains
moving on.
hurt, guys.
Moving on, looking at the KDA aspect, Rooster is just dominating from
Oh,
both teams so
according to
far.
chat, you can't actually see the chart. Sorry, I shouldn't have talked about charts when you can't see. But
Oh
there's a
yikes!
big lead for Guan Direction.
PJ is not listening to us. Report him, please.
God, PJ,
He's
worst
not.
cameraman ever. Um, not really. I love PJ. Um, but either way, overall, Brexit is pretty high up on the. Aside from the Ares, Brexit is more or less dominating these player damage charts. Merlin hasn't really come online yet. He did go into that Bancroft's Talon more or less as we expected, which gives him a lot of damage. And one thing that's nice about Bancroft's Talon and Merlin, he's got a lot of abilities, so he can get a lot of sustain out of it. But he doesn't appear to be hitting things quite yet, so his damage just really isn't there. Um,
And this
that'll take some
Janus,
time.
knowing how katanas love to hit multiple people with his ult, let's see if he's lucky enough to turn around the Poseidon ult into a Janus snipe, which snipes somebody off the face of the Smite map off. So
All the
let's
way
see if,
off.
yeah, all the way off into the moon. Then you know that
The
space
moon.
theme, the song? Yeah. Dun, 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 yeah. Then they just
Okay. Okay.
move on with that. Yeah, there's
We're
that.
gonna Giannis all and yeet people into the is what I'm
Whoa,
hearing.
whoa.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm not really
Go
sure
off the
what's
planet.
happening here. One thing though, Rooster Roo on Erlong, he is 6-0. Um, he's
It's
murdering
been
people.
it.
He's got a 3-level lead onto the Staji, and his rotations have been on point this game. Every time he's rotated, it seems he's been able to pick up kills. Um, and just really take people out. He's managed to be in the right place at the right time the majority of this game, I would say.
I would agree. Like, I understand why Rex has just banned Erling Sheng sometimes in the very first banning phase.
Mm-hmm.
I would not want to play against Guan Direction's Rooster Roos Erlang Sheng.
Yeah.
That looks dangerous. It reminds me of Souls ISIS,
Mm-hmm.
right?
To be
So I
sure,
hope
yeah.
it wouldn't. Yeah. So I hope the memories don't come back. Like the path of fate does not intertwine. Even though Soul was carrying, he could not end the game in their favor. So I hope it doesn't end up the same for Rooster because he's doing so well here, and hopefully he's able to close this one out with the boys.
Yeah, in the first two games, though, we definitely I wouldn't say I'm necessarily surprised by Rooster Roo's rotations, though. First two games, his rotations were definitely on point as well. It's just the during team fights and being in the right spot and ganking those team fights has been his faltering. But because Guan Direction's lead is so large here, I don't necessarily see that being a problem unless this game stretches out pretty far. But
Yeah, for
we
sure.
shall see. Think we've taken a long enough break now, Sweet, for us to get started?
Yeah, I think so too. Hopefully the
Okay.
Harris gods are in my favor.
We'll be back in a quick second once we've gotten all synced up. Okay, hello everybody, we're back. Hopefully stasis mode isn't gonna kill us again. We're watching Guan Direction here just kill the Spiromancer. It's gone, it's dead, it doesn't exist anymore.
And dominating the game also
Yeah.
by exactly 10 kills up on Brexit and just straight up dominating this match from the early game to the right. It's still the early game in a way.
Yeah,
12
but they're
minutes is not.
definitely very in control of this matchup here.
Yeah,
Danshi's
even
a little
though they
bit caught
were
out here, but looks like she's just gonna walk away. Medusa split push down that left side tier 1, which was rather nice.
for sure.
But now we're
Right
just
now.
gonna watch Guan Direction here, kind of get their shit together, if you will. They're trying. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm sorry. This is a PG-13 stream now, guys, because I can't control myself.
I think this is
Daji.
R-rated now. At this
This
point.
is not R-rated. Shut up. Okay, sorry. I'm terrible.
Whoa.
I need to
Look
stop.
at Meg, guys. She abuses everyone.
I am not an abusive mod admin. I'm the admin now, guys. What? Who let me do that? Sorry.
Anyway, speaking of
Action
Guan
in the mid
Direction,
lane. Merlin is attacking this Giannis, and Giannis is walking away. Over on the right-hand side, we've got Ares and Daji onto this Ardio with an Athena ult coming in as well. Ardio is looking in a pretty tight spot here. Let's see if she can get herself out. But with 3 people and all of those Ares chains, I'm not really seeing it happening.
oh.
Yeah, and Ardio falls. Giannis was looking to try and
Giannis
save her,
tried to save him.
and that was if that had been about 7 seconds earlier, that would have been a really nice Giannis ult and could have
For
potentially
sure,
saved
speaking
Ardio's
in
life.
dual lane, this Medusa is getting collapsed on by the Hatchman, the Erlang, and also the Nasha. Poor thing cannot escape 3 people who are just chasing after the blood.
Here,
and right now,
everyone
Merlin
from Guan
seems
Direction is going to rotate around onto this Merlin who's pushed up on doing a lot of damage to this Giannis, but it's a Erlang ult and then a Naja ult. I don't see this Merlin living for very long. He does Aegis to try and keep people alive a little longer, but
and
there's
stun
too many
connects
people,
with
too much
Alex.
damage.
I don't know about that banner, Alex. I mean, I heard you got a penta and all with your Hatchman, but that didn't look right to me. Anyway, as soon as that fight's ending up after the dual lane success and also the mid laner getting picked, Guan Direction straight up heads into
Yeah, right on top of the Spire Giant here. Brexit was over in the right-hand side pushing the tier 1 tower, and they were trying. Okay, everyone's dying to the Fire Giant. Stop it.
Why are the junglers trolling all the time? I don't understand this. Like,
Big Medusa ult onto 2 people, Hachiman ults away, and Ardio is. Did she beads? What? Ardio has beads and beads. The Medusa ult. Okay, I'm a little confused, but.
Wait, let's break that down.
I was okay. So what I was trying
on the FG, right? Marsh died. Right now, again, the first one to die from Guan Direction is the jungler. Roosteroo. Bro, I expected more of you. Roosteroo is
had
good now.
You had a 7 kill streak and you died to the Fire Giant. There goes Giannis is in a bad spot here from the Medusa, but he manages to Aegis and Portal out. Jeez, that was just wild. That entire Fire Giant fight. If all of Team Guan Direction hadn't died to it, that would have been a really that was a really great pull because Brexit had just backed. They were over pushing the tier 1 tower, and then they backed because they thought everyone was going to rotate to them, but instead Guan Direction just went onto the Fire Giant. Now we see Brexit pulling the Gold Fury.
And Atu is
Guan
going
Direction really
in
isn't
to
in the
cause
area
some
here.
havoc inside, and Dash is in again. We saw this happen. Will this
Big
time?
Erlong Shen ult.
Oh, just smashes! Oh my god, that insane ultimate!
There's a
Rooster
triple
gets a
from that
double
Erlong.
kill.
Oh my gosh.
Triple kill. Will he actually get the penta? Okay,
I don't think he's
the
getting the penta.
Najao
Everyone has split up and scattered, but holy heck. You die to the Fire Giant, and then you come back and you do that, man. And Rooster, can we talk? That was, what happened there, man? Why'd you die?
Rooster. Okay, he activated cheats. All right, then he popped off. All right, and he could have been it could have been another quadrat too, but the windfire wheels on Naja was way too short, and he had to compensate by using the sun. By that time, the distance was too far to compensate for that over aggression, so they decided to play safe, take gold, and they tamed down. I love Guan Direction's direction. Like they're so controlled. They're much
Mhm.
more patient and less greedy, and they're more into playing into the objectives. And I love this new change One Direction. I don't know what happened to them, but their whole revamp, I think it's just, from the game, like the morale boost after losing, right? It kind of
Yeah.
diminishes, right? So I think that Guan Direction just got one up over Britex morale in general, and then they're just powering through this right now.
They're definitely doing a good job of playing as a here. Dashi goes up in the ult and she grabs, looks like Artio there. Big damage onto oh Nasha, I apologize. Big damage onto Nasha, but he falls. Erlong Shen falls to officially to Daji, but to the tower shots there. Katanas with a triple
And
kill.
now this
In
and
the
the mid
backline here,
lane,
we've got Artio and Ares fighting, but Merlin is
everyone
there
in
to
Guan
zone
Direction
Artio
is
off.
taking everyone in One Direction is taking a time to get each one's penta kill. Like that's unofficial quadra for katanas. Right before then, it was for Roosteroo's quadra. No, it was a pen. It
Yeah,
was a triple, but unofficial quadra for katanas. This jungle mid combo is so devastating. Like
definitely. The
this,
synergy here is amazing.
yeah, for sure.
We've got
And space and time. Let's break down that fire real quick, right? Space and time, or forgot the name, but either
through
way,
space and time. That's
ultimate
correct.
chain. Yeah, true space and time connected into two people onto the Britex team that chunked them,
Oh,
and it made them.
Oceanus is in a bad spot here with Daji coming in on him. He manages to Aegis and himself. And Medusa comes around and portals out. Athena ult down, and Hachiman will fall. Ooh, big, very, very nice. Giannis ult there connects onto the
Kobe got sniped.
connects onto the Hachiman, and he will fall there.
My
That was a
question
really
here is, right? Will Alex ever solo Edu? Right? I don't know how to say his full name.
I don't
Edu
either.
or Dika. Edward.
Edwardica. I think it's Edwardica. Guys,
Yeah,
I figured it out
Edward.
finally.
She got it. She got it. Will he ever solo him?
We're fighting under this
Once.
Pyromancer here. Merlin's here trying to do the defend thing, but it's really not happening for him.
Yeah, but from what I'm seeing, right? Oh, R2 being aggressive again gets taunted in, but why is she not taking any damage? Hello, Merlin,
Cause
you there?
she's
I think
thick.
Soul is not comfortable. Wait, what?
She's thick. Artio is the thickest bear. Okay, guys, I love Artio. I favorite god.
Oh.
Not my favorite god. That's a lie. It's Cerberus. But either way.
Either way, like I feel like Soul, right? In this Merlin doesn't feel as confident as he played his ices, and
I would
he's
agree.
not really using his Merlin is known to spamming all these abilities, and I see like one at a time, and it's not consistent too. So I feel like they put
Yeah.
him on Merlin for the sake of him being a top pick or even a contested pick.
Mm-hmm.
That might cost Britex the game. It's better off giving someone a comfort pick,
Yeah,
instead of
but
giving a force pick.
with
With
Merlin
that
left
said,
open the way it was in the ban phase, I feel like you have to pick it up. I think part of this is also due to the fact that he went for the Bancrofts first instead of the early cooldown, so it's more difficult to spam those abilities. While they're probably
we can
doing more
see
damage,
teams
you can't
grouping
spam
up.
them.
Yeah, we can see the teams grouping up again for the next Fire Giant attempt. Will RTO this time recklessly dash in and take no damage? We'll find out soon
Looks
enough.
like that might be the case. Maybe not as reckless. She's wants that dodgy. She does. Looks like
Yeah,
we're
for
just
sure.
all aggressively positioning here from the side of Guan Direction, but not necessarily starting anything yet. Waiting for someone to
Oh,
get
a
out.
fight starting from Guan Direction. They realize their Athena is not there, and the comes through the portal along with Paula goes up in the air. The Athena ults in, but the space and true time connects into three people there, just burns through them.
Oof.
Excellent ultimate by Katana. It just tears them apart. The entire team fight just torn apart by
Mhm.
the Athena ult, them scattering around like headless chickens. Then Janus ult just clumps them up and just demolishes Team Brexit. What's going on,
Yeah,
guys? Why did they?
one thing that I think we should note there though, there was a really big Ares ult that connected on 3, maybe 4 people. I didn't entirely see it. They didn't all get pulled. I think there's quite a few beads that were popped there, but beads or ultimates. But because of the Ares ult, the entirety of Team Brexit lined up to try and start doing damage off of the Ares ult, but instead the Giannis turned on them and just smacked them all with his through space and time.
Yeah, Brexit,
That's
from what
the
I was
danger
seeing,
of Ares ult.
yeah, that fight, they were so spread out. Like, they shouldn't have pushed up that high when one of their members were backing, even though, granted, it was an Athena and she can come back using her ultimate. But that put them in a very awkward position, which made them, at the start of the fight, separate, making target selection for One Direction easily pickable, and again grouping up for the Aerosol, facilitating more so than the Aerosol, the Janusol upon themselves. Like giving them a free, please, Janice, hit me, I wanna die. Alright?
Exactly.
Just put me
Team
back.
Brexit now. Sorry, I keep saying it wrong. Team One Direction takes the Primal Fury, relatively uncontested. There were a couple people from Team Brexit over on that left-hand side, but they just weren't looking for it. They didn't want
Oh,
to
and
pick that fight.
Merlin almost got picked there, but his blink, which is the most saving grace that he has, just gets out.
Just
Alone in the
gone.
mid lane, pushing on these towers. The best thing to do, get fire, push the towers, win the game. I don't see a way of, for Brexit to come back into this. But even if
Yeah.
there were to, it should be a huge air assault into them having none of the CC immune ults or
Hmm.
even the beads, and somehow you do a big parallel combo and you turn the game go end. And it's a happy ending. I don't
Yeah.
see it
But
otherwise.
it's definitely gonna take some really, really intense siege defense on the side of Brexit. They definitely have the potential. They have the ultimates and they have the that can do the defending, but they're just so far behind at this point. I'm not sure that I
Oh,
see it
Archeo
happening.
fearlessly engages and Paolo goes up in the air and the taunt connects to the Rooster Truth in the back end gets the Medusa. Right now the Athena ult is hit it in but gets stunned into the Artio and everything is falling apart. Each member from the Brexit is getting picked piece by piece and torn into bits and they're chasing last but not least for that, Athena and Alex gets marshed at the tail
Hmm.
end of that fight. And here it seems like a GG, you could say, in the end, right there.
For
And
sure.
Guan Direction just wins.
Wow, yeah, good job to One Direction. At the end there, I would say that fight was definitely the RDO going in there and managing to separate off members of Team Brexit just right off the bat there, create a lot of discord in their backline. Um, and with that, Guan
Wait,
Direction
Discord is
takes the what?
victory. What?
What?
What? I mean,
I don't
Discord
know what you're
is.
talking about.
I know what. No, I don't know
Discord is
either.
like
I'm high.
chaos. Um,
No, I was
okay.
thinking of more harmony and happiness. Google. I don't
Okay.
know.
Either way, congratulations to Team One Direction winning that set 2-1. Brexit, you put up a very nice fight, especially in that first game. That big fire giant steal there really coming through. But at the end of the day, One Direction manages to take it with what I would say is a superior grouping and playing as a team, managing to
That's
split
for
up
sure.
Team Brexit very, very well there.
Yeah, I like when Popeye knew what type of fights to engage on and to take, knew his potential to how much damage he can take and not. And most of his engagement compared to like game one's Artio, game one's, Brexit's Artio, who just went in and instantly died because their carries actually know how to do damage, cough cough. But this time RQ just went in and just created havoc and distracted them long enough for them to expel their relics. And once a big major stun hit, the carries or the Janus clap, I would like to say, did a lot of damage. And also Airline Shan just getting the free run onto the ADC with no protections. It was a chaos and a mess. Everyone was separated in Britex. It seemed like they were tilted. Maybe they were. It was a rough game 2, losing Fire Giant like that, but you gotta reset. It's a new game and retry.
All right.
But unfortunately,
We're gonna move on to this next game here, which PJ, tell me what game is next.
she's done with this game already.
we're gonna be moving on. It's gonna be Keanu Reeves fan club versus Who Are You? At least that's the plan. Who knows? Replays probably are gonna be broken. SweetCold is going to be bowing out here. She's gonna take a hot break. But before we go, Sweet, I need you to say something for me. It's Brexit.
Listen, in the whole set, alright, I've been interchanging between both of the words. I swear to God, I don't know what happened, alright? It's just, the word doesn't just come to me. I just don't understand it. Like, it's Brexit, Brictex. It's just, I can definitely say the word. No S stars. But in general, I don't know what's up. Like, it's just how it is. They're just.
You're good, Sweet. We love you. But either way, we'll be back with our next set after a short break here.
Brick tasks. Idiot.